Celestial Archetypes, Astrology's Hidden Messages. Introduction, the Cosmic Blueprint. Above us stretches the vast, eternal sky, adorned with constellations that seem to whisper ancient secrets. Imagine each star as a point on a celestial map, guiding us through the unseen currents of the universe. These stars, moving in a divine rhythm, reflect the energies that shape our inner and outer worlds. This is the Cosmic Blueprint, an intricate design connecting humanity to the universe's eternal story. It is here, in the symbolic language of astrology, that we find a mirror to our essence and a compass for our journey. Astrology is far more than predictions or personality tests. It is a sacred dialogue between the cosmos and the soul. The celestial archetypes, rooted in the zodiac, planets, and houses, are timeless symbols that reveal profound truths about our nature, challenges, and potential. Each archetype embodies a universal energy, offering lessons and opportunities for growth. As we explore these archetypes, we begin to see ourselves as part of a greater tapestry, intricately woven into the fabric of existence. This book is an invitation to embark on a transformative journey through these celestial archetypes. You will discover how they act as mirrors, reflecting your strengths and vulnerabilities, your patterns and possibilities. Through their wisdom, you will learn to align with your unique rhythm while attuning to the greater symphony of life. As we delve into the foundations of celestial wisdom, let us see astrology not as a rigid framework but as an evolving art, one that offers a language to understand the mysteries of the universe and ourselves. The archetypes are not distant forces but living energies that breathe within you, waiting to be awakened and expressed. With each chapter, you will deepen your understanding of these archetypes, learning how to live in harmony with their guidance. The journey ahead is one of self-awareness and alignment. Like a traveler navigating by the stars, you will uncover the hidden messages of your birth chart, the celestial map that holds the story of your soul. The universe has always been speaking to you through its symbols and rhythms. Are you ready to listen? Let us begin by unlocking the cosmic mandala, the zodiac wheel that holds the key to understanding the archetypes that shape our lives. Before we start, if you're here to grow and tap into something deeper, like and subscribe. Your support helps us awaken other minds and continue sharing these insights with those seeking transformation. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Chapter 1. The Zodiac Wheel, a Cosmic Mandala. Imagine standing at the center of an ancient temple, its floor adorned with a circular mosaic of vibrant colors and intricate symbols. This is no ordinary decoration. It is a map of existence, a cosmic mandala that holds the patterns of life itself. Each section of this wheel glows with its own unique light, representing a fragment of the grand tapestry that weaves together the heavens and the earth. As you gaze upon it, you feel a quiet pull, as if the design resonates with something deep within you, something timeless and true. This is the essence of the zodiac wheel, a universal mandala that mirrors the rhythms of nature, the cycles of life, and the infinite potential of the human spirit. For centuries, this wheel has served as a guide to understanding not just the stars but the very essence of who we are. Each sign, with its distinct qualities and lessons, is a doorway to self-awareness and growth, a compass pointing toward our unique purpose and the paths we are destined to walk. The zodiac is not merely a tool for prediction or a static framework. It is alive with the wisdom of the cosmos, a dynamic system that reflects the universal truths embedded in the changing seasons and the journey of the sun through the heavens. Much like the turning of a great celestial clock, the zodiac marks the hours of our lives, inviting us to align with its rhythms and to explore the interconnectedness of all things. The question is not whether the zodiac holds meaning, but whether we are ready to see it. What if each sign represents not only a starry constellation but a piece of your own story? What if this ancient wheel, this cosmic mandala, is a mirror in which you can discover your potential, your challenges, and your opportunities for transformation? As we embark on this exploration of the zodiac wheel, let it be a reminder that the universe is not separate from you. You are the mandala, a radiant mosaic of energies and experiences. Are you ready to see yourself within its luminous design? What does your place in this eternal circle reveal about the journey you are on? At its heart, the zodiac wheel is a map of energies, a vibrant tapestry that reflects the essence of existence in its many forms. Comprising 12 distinct archetypes, the zodiac represents a full spectrum of life's experiences, from beginnings to completions, from inner growth to outward expression. Each sign holds a specific place within this mandala, like threads in a carefully woven pattern. Together, they form a holistic view of what it means to live, to grow, and to evolve. The structure of the zodiac is deeply rooted in natural cycles, mirroring the rhythm of the seasons. Aries, the first sign, bursts forth with the energy of spring, embodying initiation and renewal. Taurus follows, bringing stability and the lushness of growth. Gemini introduces movement and communication, like the rustling winds of early summer. These signs, and all those that follow, echo the Earth's journey around the Sun, a testament to the intimate relationship between humanity and the cosmos. This interconnectedness extends beyond nature's seasons, touching on the stages of human life. Aries' youthful exuberance parallels the vitality of childhood, while Cancer's nurturing energy resonates with the protective instincts of parenthood. Libra's focus on balance and relationships reflects the dance of partnership, and Capricorn's mature discipline symbolizes the wisdom of later years. The zodiac wheel, then, is not merely a cosmic tool but a mirror of our own evolution, showing us that we, too, are part of these universal rhythms. The zodiac can also be seen as a clock, not one that measures minutes and hours but one that tracks the unfolding of time on a grand scale. Each sign marks a distinct hour in the cycle of existence, a moment that invites us to embody its lessons. This celestial clock reminds us that life is not a straight line but a circle, an ongoing process of beginnings and endings, growth and renewal. It asks us to consider, what hour are you living in now? What energies are calling you to engage with the present moment? Personal connection to the zodiac wheel deepens when we view it not as an external framework but as an intimate map of our own lives. In astrology, the zodiac is not just a collective pattern but an individualized design, unique to each person's birth chart. Your chart, with its alignment of signs, planets, and houses, is your personal mandala, reflecting the particular energies that shape your experiences and aspirations. Within this chart lies a blueprint of potential, offering insights into your strengths, challenges, and opportunities. To engage with the zodiac as a mandala is to step into a relationship with its energies. Each sign invites you to embody its qualities, to learn from its shadows, and to align with its wisdom. Aries, with its courage and pioneering spirit, may inspire you to take bold action where you've hesitated. Cancer, with its deep emotional currents, may guide you toward healing and connection. Each sign becomes a teacher, offering lessons that are both universal and deeply personal. The beauty of the zodiac wheel lies in its ability to unify opposites and create balance. Opposing signs, such as Aries and Libra or Taurus and Scorpio, are not in conflict but in dynamic relationship, each completing the other. Aries' independence finds harmony in Libra's focus on partnership, while Taurus' stability is complemented by Scorpio's transformative intensity. These pairings remind us that wholeness comes not from singularity but from integration, from embracing the full spectrum of who we are. As you explore the zodiac wheel, consider it a guide to navigating the complexities of your inner and outer worlds. What lessons are waiting for you in its patterns? How can you align with its cycles to find greater flow and meaning in your life? The mandala of the zodiac is not static. It is alive, evolving with you as you journey through its luminous design. What stories will you discover within its vibrant, eternal circle? Standing before the luminous zodiac wheel, you may begin to sense its rhythm echoing within your own life. Each section of the wheel holds a unique energy, yet together, they form a harmonious whole. The same is true for your journey. Moments of growth, challenge, and renewal are not isolated. They are interconnected pieces of a larger mosaic, each contributing to the fullness of your existence. The mandala reminds us that life, like the zodiac, is a dance of balance, integration, and infinite potential. Now, take a moment to reflect. Which part of the wheel feels most alive within you right now? Perhaps you resonate with the fiery determination of Aries, the grounded stability of Taurus, or the adaptable curiosity of Gemini. These energies may already be present in your life, quietly guiding your choices and shaping your experiences. Are there lessons within these signs that you have yet to uncover? How might embracing their wisdom bring clarity to your current path? Consider, too, the dynamic interplay between signs. Just as the zodiac's opposites find harmony, where in your life might balance be needed? If you feel caught in the rush of action, could a moment of stillness reveal a new perspective? If you're deeply rooted in the comfort of the familiar, might a leap of faith rekindle your sense of adventure? The zodiac wheel asks not for perfection but for awareness, for the willingness to explore how its energies manifest in your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Let the zodiac become a lens through which you view the cycles of your life. Each turn of its wheel marks a transition, a reminder that nothing is static. The energies of the zodiac, like the seasons, are always moving, always inviting you to grow. What might it feel like to align yourself with this flow? To trust that just as spring follows winter, your moments of challenge will inevitably give way to renewal. Take these questions with you as you step away from the wheel and into the world. Allow the wisdom of this cosmic mandala to guide your actions and choices, helping you see both the beauty and the purpose in the cycles of your life. What stories will you write as you align with its eternal rhythm? How will you use its energies to illuminate your unique path? The zodiac wheel stands ready, a constant companion on your journey. It is not merely a map of the stars but a map of your potential, reflecting the brilliance that has always been within you. As you walk forward, remember, you are the mandala. You are the vibrant circle of energies, endlessly connected to the universe and its infinite wisdom. What will you discover within its radiant design? What will you become? Chapter 2: The Planets, Celestial Messengers. Picture the night sky as a vast orchestra, each planet a unique instrument, playing its melody in perfect synchrony with the cosmos. Venus hums a soft, harmonious tune, evoking love and beauty. Mars strikes a bold rhythm, driving action and courage. Saturn's deep, resonant chords remind us of discipline and time's eternal passage. These celestial messengers are not random wanderers but archetypal forces, shaping the symphony of existence with precision and purpose. In the language of astrology, planets are not merely physical bodies orbiting the sun. They are vibrant carriers of meaning, each embodying a distinct energy that resonates within and around us. While the zodiac provides the stage, the planets act as the dynamic players, moving through the signs and influencing the tone of our lives. Together, they form a cosmic dialogue, a conversation that bridges the macrocosm of the universe with the microcosm of the self. These planets are grouped into two realms, the personal and the collective. The personal planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the Sun, and the Moon, affect the intimate corners of our personality, shaping how we think, feel, and act. The outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, speak to larger, generational themes, their slow movements influencing society and the unfolding of collective consciousness. They are like celestial storytellers, weaving narratives that connect individual lives to the greater whole. Imagine your life as a play, with the planets as actors portraying your desires, fears, and aspirations. How do these energies influence your choices? Are they harmonious, or do they clash? What role does each planet play in the unfolding story of your life? As we delve into their meanings, let us begin to see them not as distant celestial bodies but as mirrors reflecting the infinite complexity and beauty of the human spirit. What messages might they have for you today? What wisdom do they offer to illuminate your journey? The planets in astrology are more than just distant objects in the sky. They are archetypal energies that influence the many dimensions of our lives. To understand them is to understand the dynamic forces at play within ourselves, forces that drive our thoughts, shape our relationships, and guide our purpose. Each planet carries its own symbolic essence, a specific vibration that resonates in both the inner and outer worlds. The personal planets, closest to the Earth, act as intimate reflections of our core personality and daily interactions. The Sun, often called the essence of the self, represents the life force, illuminating our purpose and vitality. It is the source of our individuality, the spark that defines who we are at our core. Meanwhile, the Moon governs our emotions and intuition, its cycles mirroring the ebb and flow of our inner world. It is the keeper of our subconscious, revealing how we nurture and seek comfort. Mercury, the messenger of the gods, symbolizes intellect and communication. It governs the way we think, learn, and share ideas, acting as the bridge between our inner thoughts and outer expression. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, speaks to our capacity for connection and harmony, showing how we attract and appreciate the world's pleasures. Mars, with its fiery energy, drives action, determination, and desire, reflecting how we assert ourselves and pursue our passions. Beyond the personal planets lie the social and outer planets, whose energies extend into broader, collective realms. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is associated with growth, abundance, and wisdom. It inspires us to seek meaning and explore possibilities, encouraging optimism and faith. Saturn, its counterpart, provides structure and discipline, reminding us of the importance of boundaries, responsibility, and the passage of time. The outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, move slowly through the zodiac, influencing entire generations and societal shifts. Uranus, the planet of innovation and rebellion, represents the urge for freedom and change. It disrupts the status quo, encouraging breakthroughs and radical thinking. Neptune, the dreamer, rules imagination, spirituality, and transcendence, connecting us to the unseen and the infinite. Pluto, the planet of transformation, delves into the depths of power, death, and rebirth, driving profound and often challenging changes that lead to renewal. Understanding the interplay of these planets in your birth chart reveals a symphony of energies at work in your life. For instance, the Sun in fiery Leo might express bold creativity, while a Moon in gentle Pisces brings emotional sensitivity. Mercury in practical Virgo could signify analytical thinking, while Venus in passionate Scorpio may highlight intensity in relationships. Each placement offers a unique perspective, a layer of depth that adds richness to your identity. The movement of planets, known as transits, further adds to their dynamic nature. These transits reflect the celestial energies influencing your current experiences. For example, a Saturn return, a transit that occurs roughly every 29 years when Saturn returns to its natal position, marks a time of profound restructuring and maturity. Similarly, Jupiter's transits may herald opportunities for growth, while Uranus's movements often bring unexpected change. Consider the planets as archetypes playing roles in the theater of your life. Are you feeling the passionate call of Mars urging you to take bold action, or the quiet pull of Neptune drawing you into introspection and dreams? Is Saturn teaching you lessons in perseverance, or is Venus guiding you toward connection and beauty? Each planet's influence ebbs and flows, weaving a complex tapestry that shapes your experiences and growth. To truly understand the planets is to see them as guides, each one offering unique insights into different aspects of existence. They remind us that life is not static but an ongoing dance of energies, each contributing to the whole. Their movements and placements invite us to align with their rhythms, to embrace their lessons, and to harness their gifts. What messages do these celestial messengers hold for you? How might aligning with their energies bring greater clarity, purpose, and harmony to your life? The planets, ever in motion, beckon you to listen, to learn, and to grow. They are the silent companions of your journey, offering their wisdom as you navigate the complexities of existence. Are you ready to hear their song? Are you ready to step into the rhythm of the cosmos? As you step back and reflect on the celestial orchestra above, consider the roles the planets play in your own life. These ancient messengers, with their distinct energies and rhythms, are not separate from you. They are woven into the fabric of your being, reflecting the patterns of your inner world and guiding the unfolding of your story. Each planet, from the Sun's brilliance to Pluto's transformative depths, carries a piece of wisdom meant for you. Which planetary energy feels most present in your life right now? Perhaps you sense Mars urging you to take a bold step, or Venus inviting you to open your heart to connection and beauty. Are you experiencing the expansive optimism of Jupiter or the disciplined call of Saturn to build something lasting? These energies are not random. They are purposeful, offering lessons and opportunities for growth precisely when you need them. Take a moment to connect with the planets not as distant entities but as living symbols within you. How might you harness their energies to move through challenges or embrace opportunities? If Mercury governs your communication, where can clarity and mindfulness enhance your expression? If Neptune rules your dreams, how can you bring creativity and spiritual connection into your daily life? The planets invite reflection, asking you to explore how their archetypal forces manifest in your choices and experiences. The dance of the planets is continuous, their movements ever shifting and yet deeply reliable. They remind us that life is cyclical, a rhythm of beginnings and endings, challenges and breakthroughs. By attuning yourself to their wisdom, you can navigate these cycles with greater awareness and grace, aligning with the cosmic flow that connects all things. What story are the planets helping you to write today? How will you listen to their messages and honor their guidance as you walk your path? Remember, these celestial messengers are your allies, their energies echoing in the symphony of your soul. As you move forward, let their light illuminate your way, helping you discover the depths of your potential and the boundless beauty of your journey. Chapter 3. The Houses, Stages of Experience. Envision a grand 12-room mansion, each chamber uniquely adorned, each offering a window onto a different aspect of life. One room is filled with mirrors, reflecting your identity and sense of self. Another holds the warmth of shared laughter and connection, embodying relationships. A third is shadowed, beckoning you to explore the mysteries of transformation and rebirth. This mansion is not a place you visit. It is the structure of your life, the foundation of your experiences. Each room is an arena, waiting for you to step in and fully engage with its offerings. In astrology, these rooms are called the houses, and they represent the stages where the drama of existence unfolds. While the zodiac signs describe the energies at play and the planets act as the catalysts, the houses provide the settings, the specific areas of life where these influences take shape. Each house governs a domain, from personal identity and partnerships to career and spirituality, creating a comprehensive map of the human experience. The houses form a wheel, much like the zodiac, dividing life into 12 segments that together create a whole. The first house begins the cycle with the dawn of self-awareness, while the 12th house concludes it with the mysteries of the unconscious and spiritual unity. As planets move through these houses in a natal chart, they activate the themes associated with each one, bringing focus and energy to different aspects of life at different times. What is your relationship with this mansion of experience? Do you find yourself lingering in certain rooms while avoiding others? Are there doors you're hesitant to open, areas of life that feel distant or inaccessible? The house system is a guide, encouraging you to explore all parts of yourself and your existence. As we step into this celestial mansion together, consider what each room might hold for you. What stories are waiting to unfold? What treasures lie hidden within its walls? The 12 houses in astrology are not just abstract concepts but powerful representations of the arenas where life unfolds. Each house serves as a stage, illuminating specific aspects of existence, from the deeply personal to the profoundly universal. To explore the houses is to explore the dimensions of your own life, gaining insight into where your energies are concentrated and where transformation may be needed. The houses begin with the first, known as the House of Self. This house governs identity, appearance, and the way you approach life. It is the starting point of the Zodiac wheel, representing the moment of birth and the spark of individuality. Planets placed here influence how you present yourself to the world and the lens through which you view existence. For instance, a dynamic Mars in the first house may bring a bold and assertive presence, while a sensitive moon here may indicate emotional openness and intuition. The second house shifts focus to the material realm, ruling finances, possessions, and values. It asks questions about what you hold dear and how you find security. It is not simply about wealth but about the resources, both tangible and intangible, that support your sense of stability. A prominent Venus in this house may inspire a love for beauty and luxury, while Saturn here might signify lessons in financial discipline. From there, the journey continues to the third house, which governs communication, learning, and immediate environment. This house emphasizes how you connect with others, exchange ideas, and process information. It highlights the importance of curiosity and the relationships with siblings and neighbors. A Mercury in this house might create a sharp, analytical mind, while Neptune could infuse communication with imagination and a touch of mysticism. The fourth house, often referred to as the house of home and family, roots us in our origins. It delves into our ancestry, our sense of belonging, and the foundations upon which we build our lives. It is the sanctuary of our inner world, a place of emotional security. The Sun in the fourth house may bring a strong connection to family identity, while Pluto here could indicate deep, transformative family dynamics. As the wheel turns, the fifth house brings us into the realm of creativity, pleasure, and self-expression. This house is where we explore joy, romance, and the spark of inspiration. It is the domain of play and the pursuit of passions, whether in art, love, or leisure. A Jupiter in the fifth house might signal a love for drama and grandeur, while Saturn could bring a more disciplined approach to creative endeavors. The sixth house shifts the focus to work, health, and daily routines. It emphasizes service and the way we structure our lives. This house reminds us of the importance of discipline and care, both for ourselves and others. A Mars here might create a strong work ethic, while Venus could bring a harmonious approach to wellness and collaboration. At the cusp of the seventh house, we encounter the house of partnerships. This house governs one-on-one relationships, from romantic unions to business alliances. It is the mirror through which we see ourselves reflected in others, teaching lessons about connection, compromise, and balance. Planets here illuminate the dynamics of your closest bonds, whether harmonious or challenging. The eighth house delves into the mysteries of transformation, power, and shared resources. It is often called the house of death and rebirth, but its themes extend to intimacy, deep emotional exchanges, and the cycles of endings and beginnings. With Pluto here, there may be profound experiences of renewal, while Jupiter might bring expansive opportunities through shared ventures. The ninth house expands horizons, exploring higher learning, travel, and philosophy. It invites you to seek meaning, whether through education, spiritual exploration, or cultural experiences. This house is about growth and the pursuit of wisdom. A Sagittarius influence in this house amplifies wanderlust and a love of discovery, while Saturn might bring a structured, disciplined approach to intellectual pursuits. The 10th house, at the peak of the wheel, represents career, ambition, and public life. It is the house of legacy, showing how you aspire to be seen and what you strive to achieve. Planets here influence your sense of purpose and how you contribute to the world. A sun in the 10th house often signifies a strong drive for recognition, while Neptune might infuse your career with a sense of idealism. The 11th house moves us into the realm of community, friendships, and collective goals. It is the house of hopes and dreams, encouraging collaboration and innovation. Uranus here might indicate unique, unconventional connections, while Venus could bring harmonious group dynamics. Finally, the 12th house draws us inward, into the subconscious and the spiritual. It is the house of endings, retreat, and the unseen. This house invites introspection, asking you to explore hidden aspects of yourself and the collective unconscious. Planets here often operate subtly but profoundly, influencing dreams, intuition, and spiritual growth. A moon in the 12th house may bring rich inner emotional landscapes, while Mars could signal a need to confront hidden fears. Together, these 12 houses create a map of existence, a guide to the various aspects of life's journey. They remind us that every area of life holds value, even those we may overlook or avoid. By understanding the interplay of planets and houses in your chart, you can uncover the deeper patterns shaping your experiences and align with the energies that guide your growth. Which areas of your life feel illuminated by this understanding of the houses? Are there rooms in your celestial mansion that are calling for your attention? What lessons might you find if you step fully into their space? Each house holds a key to a deeper connection with yourself and your journey. Where will you begin? As you walk through the grand mansion of the 12 houses, consider the unique story that each room tells about your life. Some doors may feel wide open, inviting you into familiar spaces where you thrive with confidence and clarity. Others may feel locked or shadowed, representing areas that challenge you or ask for deeper reflection. This celestial mansion is not separate from you. It is a mirror of your existence, reflecting both your strengths and the areas where growth is waiting to unfold. Which room in your life feels most vibrant right now? Perhaps the light of the 5th house, filled with creativity and passion, beckons you to express your unique gifts. Or maybe the quieter sanctuary of the 12th house is calling, urging you to retreat inward and explore the spiritual dimensions of your being. What might it feel like to step fully into these spaces, to embrace their lessons and gifts without hesitation? The interplay between the houses reminds us of life's inherent balance. Where one room invites rest, another encourages action. Where one celebrates individuality, another fosters connection. Are there areas where you feel out of harmony, where the energy of one house may need the counterbalance of another? If the drive of the 10th house feels overwhelming, might the grounding stability of the 4th house bring you back to center? If the intimacy of the 8th house feels heavy, could the lightness of the 3rd house provide clarity and perspective? Let this mansion serve as a guide, not only for understanding your experiences but also for navigating your choices. Each house is alive with possibility, a space where your story is being written. The planets and signs that activate these houses are not there by chance. They are your allies, illuminating the path toward greater self-awareness and fulfillment. What part of your life's mansion will you explore more deeply today? Are there rooms you've avoided that now invite your curiosity and courage? Each door you open offers a new perspective, a chance to integrate more fully the many dimensions of your being. Remember, this mansion is yours to navigate, a gift from the cosmos that holds the blueprint of your existence. As you continue your journey, how will you honor the wisdom held within these sacred spaces? What will you discover in the intricate and endless beauty of your celestial home? Chapter 4. Aries, the Warrior Spirit. Picture a single flame flickering in the darkness, bold and unyielding. This flame does not hesitate. It leaps upward with purpose, a beacon of vitality and courage. It is the spark of life itself, the beginning of all things. In this simple yet profound image lies the essence of Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is the warrior spirit, the fearless pioneer who blazes new trails and faces challenges head-on, embodying the energy of action, initiation, and individuality. Aries represents the raw power of beginnings, the surge of energy that propels us to take the first step, no matter how daunting the path ahead may seem. It is ruled by Mars, the planet of drive and determination, and infused with the element of fire, making its energy dynamic, bold, and sometimes relentless. Aries teaches us the value of courage, not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. This archetype is a reminder that within each of us lies a warrior, a force capable of breaking through barriers and igniting change. Aries' energy does not wait for permission or perfect conditions. It is spontaneous, immediate, and intensely alive. Whether we are starting a new project, pursuing a passion, or standing up for what we believe in, Aries' energy inspires us to embrace our inner fire and lead with confidence. Yet, the warrior's path is not without its shadows. Aries can be impulsive, its boldness tipping into recklessness, its passion into conflict. Like a fire left unchecked, Aries' energy must be channeled wisely to avoid burnout or harm. The lesson of Aries is not just to act, but to act with purpose, harnessing its immense energy in service of a meaningful goal. As we explore the archetype of Aries, let us ask, where in your life is a spark waiting to ignite? What opportunities are calling for your courage and action? And how might you embody the warrior spirit with both strength and wisdom, blazing a trail that leads not only to achievement but to transformation? Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, is the cosmic herald of beginnings. Represented by the ram, Aries embodies strength, determination, and an unwavering drive to push forward, no matter the obstacle. As the pioneer of the zodiac, Aries initiates action and sets the tone for all that follows. This archetype symbolizes the unshakable will to carve a path where none existed, driven by the sheer force of life's creative energy. Ruled by Mars, the planet of action and courage, Aries operates with a fiery intensity that is both inspiring and formidable. Mars imbues Aries with an instinctive understanding of motion, both the literal and metaphorical kind. This is the energy of the first step, the leap of faith that sets great journeys in motion. To channel Aries' energy is to embody boldness and decisiveness, to trust in one's own capacity to overcome fear and hesitation. Aries thrives in the realm of action. It is not a sign to linger in planning or contemplation. Its strength lies in movement and momentum. Picture a sprinter at the starting line, muscles coiled in anticipation of the race. This is the essence of Aries, pure, unrestrained readiness to launch forward. For those born under this sign, the journey itself often matters more than the destination. They are drawn to the thrill of challenge, the rush of testing limits, and the satisfaction of forging their own path. The lessons of Aries, however, extend far beyond those born under its sign. Its energy is a call to action for everyone, encouraging us to embrace initiative and assertiveness in the areas of our lives where we've hesitated. Where have you held back out of fear or uncertainty? What project, idea, or relationship could benefit from the spark of Aries boldness? The warrior spirit reminds us that courage is not waiting for the absence of fear but taking action despite it. Yet, Aries fire can be a double-edged sword. Its drive and passion, when unbalanced, may lead to impulsiveness, impatience, or conflict. Like the ram charging forward without thought, Aries energy can sometimes collide with obstacles of its own making. This is where the deeper wisdom of the archetype comes into play. The challenge of Aries is to learn focus and discipline, channeling its immense energy toward goals that are not just immediate but meaningful. In relationships, Aries brings excitement and spontaneity. It seeks partners who can match its vitality and share in its adventures. However, the same intensity that fuels Aries' passion can sometimes make it prone to dominance or a struggle for control. Learning to temper its need for independence with empathy and collaboration is a key growth point for Aries energy. It teaches us that true strength lies not just in leading but in knowing when to follow or compromise. Aries also symbolizes the courage to face inner challenges. The warrior spirit is not limited to external battles. It is equally relevant to the internal struggles we face, overcoming self-doubt, breaking old habits, or pursuing personal growth. In this sense, Aries is a guide for stepping into the unknown territories of the self, encouraging us to act with the same bravery we might exhibit in outward pursuits. The placement of Aries in your birth chart reveals where this pioneering energy is most active in your life. Is it in your career, pushing you to take bold professional risks? Is it in your personal identity, inspiring you to stand confidently in your truth? Or perhaps it manifests in your relationships, challenging you to bring authenticity and passion to your connections. Understanding this placement can illuminate areas where the warrior spirit is calling for expression and growth. Aries energy also resonates in the natural world, aligning with the fresh beginnings of spring. As the first sign of the zodiac, Aries marks the renewal of life, the bursting forth of energy after the stillness of winter. It reminds us that every ending carries within it the seed of a new beginning, and that life itself is a cycle of constant renewal. In this way, Aries teaches us to embrace change and uncertainty, to approach life's transitions with confidence and enthusiasm. What if the obstacle you fear is not a barrier but a stepping stone? What if the first step you take today sets into motion a journey that transforms your life? Aries energy is a reminder that within you lies the capacity to act, to risk, and to create, no matter the circumstances. The warrior spirit of Aries is not about reckless bravery or unchecked ambition. It is about channeling your inner fire in ways that empower and uplift you. Where in your life could you benefit from the courage to take action? What possibilities might open if you trust in your ability to lead, to risk, and to ignite change? Aries reminds us that life is not something to wait for but something to meet head-on, with all the vitality and determination we can muster. Are you ready to answer its call? What will you set ablaze with your warrior spirit? As the flame of Aries flickers within you, consider where its light is most needed in your life. The warrior spirit does not ask for perfection. It asks only for courage, for the willingness to step forward even when the outcome is uncertain. What area of your life is calling for boldness and action? Where have hesitation or fear held you back from fully embracing your potential? Aries reminds you that the journey begins with a single step, one fueled by trust in yourself and the power of your inner fire. Reflect on the times you felt the rush of Aries energy, the excitement of a new beginning, the determination to overcome a challenge, or the clarity that comes with decisively taking control of your path. How did those moments shape you? How might reconnecting with this energy inspire you to confront the obstacles or opportunities before you now? The warrior spirit is not about constant battle but about knowing when and where to direct your energy for the greatest impact. At the same time, Aries encourages balance. Its lesson is not only to act but to act with purpose. How might you temper its boldness with reflection, ensuring that your actions align with your values and long-term goals? In relationships, in work, and in personal growth, Aries teaches the importance of combining strength with empathy, independence with connection. Are there areas where your fire has burned too brightly, leaving ashes in its wake? Or perhaps places where it has dimmed, waiting for you to rekindle its glow? Take a moment to identify the sparks in your life, the ideas, dreams, and aspirations that fill you with excitement and possibility. How can you nurture these flames into a steady, purposeful fire? Aries does not merely push you to act, it inspires you to lead, to carve your path with courage and intention. Where will you direct this energy, and what new beginnings might you create as a result? The warrior spirit within you is eternal, a reminder that you possess the strength to face whatever life presents. As you carry the lessons of Aries forward, remember that the greatest battles are often those fought within. What might you discover about yourself when you step into your courage? And how will you honor the fire of Aries as you ignite the next chapter of your journey? The path awaits, and the flame is yours to carry. Chapter 5. Taurus, the Builder. Picture a lush, green meadow basking in the golden light of a warm sun. The earth beneath your feet feels solid, grounding you with its steady presence, while the scent of blooming flowers lingers in the air. This is the realm of Taurus, the archetype of the builder, a sign rooted in stability, abundance, and the pleasures of the material world. Taurus is the energy of cultivation, reminding us that true growth comes from patience, consistency, and a deep connection to the foundations that sustain us. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty, imbuing this sign with a profound appreciation for life's sensory delights. Whether it's the taste of a well-prepared meal, the comfort of a familiar touch, or the serenity of a beautiful landscape, Taurus finds joy in the tangible and the enduring. This sign teaches us to honor the physical world, not as a distraction from the spiritual but as a reflection of it. The sacred is often found in the simple, in the act of planting a seed and watching it grow. Yet, Taurus is more than a seeker of comfort and beauty. It is the builder, the steady force that transforms dreams into reality through diligence and determination. While other signs may rush forward with plans and ideas, Taurus patiently works to bring them to life, brick by brick, with an unshakable focus. Its energy is unhurried but persistent, reminding us that lasting success often requires time, effort, and the willingness to embrace the process. At its core, Taurus asks us to consider, what are you building in your life? What seeds have you planted, and how are you nurturing their growth? The builder's journey is one of grounding and commitment, a reminder that the most meaningful achievements often arise from the quiet persistence of tending to what truly matters. As we explore this archetype, let us reflect on the structures we are creating, both in the external world and within ourselves. How might we embody Taurus wisdom to cultivate a life of stability, beauty, and abundance? 7. Taurus, the second sign of the zodiac, is deeply rooted in the element of earth, representing the foundation upon which we build our lives. As the builder, Taurus embodies the qualities of stability, endurance, and a profound connection to the physical world. It reminds us that creation is not a fleeting act of inspiration but a patient process of cultivation and care. This archetype celebrates the tangible, the enduring, and the grounded. Ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and values, Taurus teaches us to appreciate the richness of life. Venus imbues Taurus with a deep love for the sensory world, its colors, textures, sounds, and tastes. For Taurus, abundance is not merely about material wealth but about experiencing life's pleasures in their fullest form. A walk through a forest, the warmth of a handmade quilt, or the sharing of a meal with loved ones all reflect Taurus' celebration of the simple yet profound joys of existence. At its heart, Taurus is a builder, one who understands that the most enduring structures, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, are created through steady, consistent effort. It does not seek the quick or the easy. Instead, it values the process of building with care and intention. This energy teaches us the power of perseverance, of committing to a vision and working diligently to bring it to fruition. Taurus asks us to consider, what are we building in our lives? Are our efforts aligned with what we truly value, or are they focused on fleeting desires? In practical terms, Taurus governs resources, finances, and the cultivation of security. It is the energy that encourages us to save for the future, to invest in what matters, and to create a stable foundation upon which to thrive. This is not about greed or accumulation for its own sake, but about honoring the role of material stability in supporting a fulfilling life. Taurus reminds us that abundance is a state of mind as much as it is a physical reality. Are we tending to what we already have, or are we constantly chasing what we lack? Yet, the gifts of Taurus extend beyond material concerns. This sign is deeply connected to the rhythms of nature, teaching us to align our lives with the cycles of growth and renewal. Like a farmer planting seeds in fertile soil, Taurus encourages us to trust in the process, understanding that growth takes time. There is a quiet wisdom in Taurus' steady pace, a reminder that rushing often leads to instability. What might you achieve if you allowed yourself the patience to build slowly and intentionally? The shadow side of Taurus, however, lies in its potential for attachment and stubbornness. The same energy that values stability and security can resist change, clinging to the familiar even when it no longer serves. Taurus' deep appreciation for the material world can sometimes tip into possessiveness, and over-identification with possessions or comfort. The lesson here is to recognize when stability becomes stagnation, when the desire to hold on prevents growth and transformation. In relationships, Taurus brings loyalty, reliability, and a strong sense of commitment. It values partnerships that provide security and mutual support, and it often expresses love through tangible acts of care, preparing a favorite meal, creating a cozy home, or offering a steady presence in times of need. However, Taurus' focus on security can sometimes lead to resistance to emotional vulnerability, as it prefers to avoid situations that might disrupt its sense of stability. Astrologically, the placement of Taurus in your chart reveals where this energy of building and grounding is most active in your life. Is it in your career, inspiring you to create a lasting legacy? Is it in your relationships, urging you to build trust and commitment? Or perhaps it manifests in your creative pursuits, encouraging you to craft beauty and art with care and precision. Wherever Taurus resides, it invites you to connect with the present moment and to find joy in the process of creation. Taurus energy is closely tied to the natural world, particularly the season of spring, when the earth awakens with new life. Just as a tree grows slowly over time, rooting itself deeply into the soil, Taurus reminds us that true growth cannot be rushed. Its lesson is to embrace the cycles of sowing, nurturing, and harvesting, trusting that the rewards of our efforts will come in their own time. Are there areas of your life where you can cultivate this kind of patience and trust? Ultimately, Taurus teaches us to value what is truly important, our relationships, our health, our sense of purpose, and to create a life that reflects these values. It challenges us to move beyond superficial desires and to invest in what will sustain us over the long term. What would it look like to build your life around what you truly love? How might embodying Taurus wisdom bring greater stability, abundance, and joy to your journey? The builder archetype encourages us to create not just for ourselves but for others, leaving behind a legacy of beauty, security, and care. What seeds are you planting today? How are you nurturing them, ensuring they grow into something meaningful and enduring. Taurus reminds us that life is not a race but a garden, a space to cultivate with intention and love. How will you embrace the builder's path? What will you create that reflects the essence of who you are? As the steady rhythm of Taurus flows through your life, take a moment to reflect on what you are building. The builder archetype invites you to pause and appreciate the structures you've already created, whether they are tangible achievements, cherished relationships, or personal strengths. Taurus reminds you that growth is not always about striving for more. It is often about nurturing what already exists, tending to the seeds you've planted with care and patience. What areas of your life feel stable and abundant? Perhaps it's a home that offers comfort, a relationship that provides support, or a skill you've developed through persistence. Taurus asks you to honor these foundations, recognizing them as the bedrock upon which future growth can flourish. At the same time, it challenges you to consider, are there areas where you're holding on too tightly, resisting the natural cycles of change? What might happen if you allowed space for new growth, even if it meant letting go of what no longer serves you? The wisdom of Taurus lies in its ability to find balance, between holding on and letting go, between building for the future and savoring the present. How might you embody this balance in your own life? Are there goals or dreams that require the patient, consistent energy of Taurus to bring to fruition? What steps can you take today to align with the builder's steady rhythm, trusting that small, intentional actions will lead to lasting results? Taurus also invites you to reconnect with the simple pleasures of existence. What brings you joy in the here and now? Is it the feel of the earth beneath your feet, the taste of a favorite meal, or the warmth of a loved one's embrace? By appreciating these moments, you align with Taurus' deep understanding that life's richness is often found in its smallest details. As you carry the lessons of Taurus forward, remember that building is not just about creating structures in the outer world. It is also about cultivating inner stability and peace. What practices or habits can you adopt to strengthen your connection to yourself and your values? How can you ensure that what you're building reflects not just what you have but who you are? The builder's journey is one of patience, dedication, and love, for the process, for the results, and for the life that unfolds in between. What seeds will you plant today? How will you nurture them into something enduring and beautiful? Taurus reminds you that the greatest legacies are not built in haste but with care and intention. Trust in your ability to create a life of abundance, rooted in the wisdom of the builder within you. What will you cultivate, and how will you honor the steady, sacred rhythm of Taurus? Chapter 6. Gemini, the Messenger. Imagine a gentle breeze sweeping through an open window, carrying with it the whispers of stories, ideas, and connections. This breeze does not linger. It moves swiftly, weaving its way into every corner, bringing freshness and curiosity wherever it touches. This is the energy of Gemini, the messenger of the Zodiac, whose essence lies in the exchange of information, the exploration of ideas, and the art of communication. Gemini, ruled by Mercury, the planet of intellect and expression, is the archetype of curiosity and adaptability. It thrives on variety, always seeking to learn, to share, and to connect. Symbolized by the twins, Gemini embodies duality, a reflection of the many facets of truth and the infinite ways we can understand and interpret the world. Its energy is light, dynamic, and full of possibility, reminding us of the power of words and the importance of staying open to new perspectives. The messenger archetype is not content with silence or stillness. It thrives in the realm of conversation, inquiry, and connection. It teaches us that knowledge is not a solitary pursuit but a shared journey, one that grows richer through dialogue and exchange. Gemini energy encourages us to ask questions, to explore the unfamiliar, and to embrace the diversity of thought and experience that life offers. Yet, Gemini's gifts are not without challenges. Its love of movement and change can sometimes lead to restlessness or a lack of focus. The messenger must learn to balance its curiosity with discernment, to channel its energy in ways that deepen understanding rather than scatter it. Gemini reminds us that while exploration is vital, so too is reflection, taking the time to integrate and apply the knowledge we've gathered. As we explore the archetype of Gemini, let us ask, what stories are you telling, and what stories are you listening to? How are you engaging with the world around you, and how might you deepen those connections? The messenger teaches us that every conversation, every idea, and every relationship is an opportunity to grow and expand. Where will its energy take you next? Gemini, the third sign of the zodiac, is the embodiment of movement, connection, and intellectual curiosity. Its energy is quick, adaptable, and inquisitive, thriving on the exchange of ideas and the pursuit of knowledge. Symbolized by the twins, Gemini reflects the dual nature of existence, showing us that every idea has its counterpart, every question its answer, or perhaps even more questions. This archetype invites us into the realm of thought, communication, and endless possibility. Ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, Gemini governs how we think, learn, and express ourselves. Mercury's influence gives Gemini a sharp intellect and a talent for articulation, allowing this sign to effortlessly navigate the world of words and ideas. Whether through writing, speaking, or simply engaging in conversation, Gemini seeks to understand and to be understood, valuing the flow of information above all else. At its core, Gemini's energy is about connection, not only with others but also with the many facets of the self. The twins represent this duality, a reminder that we all contain multitudes. Gemini encourages us to embrace our complexity, to explore the different sides of our personality, and to reconcile the contradictions within us. In doing so, it teaches us that understanding does not come from choosing one truth over another but from integrating diverse perspectives. This love of exploration makes Gemini an eternal student, eager to absorb knowledge from every source. Its curiosity is boundless, spanning topics, cultures, and experiences. For Gemini, life is a puzzle, and each new idea or encounter is a piece that adds depth and texture to the bigger picture. This energy thrives in environments where learning and sharing are celebrated, whether in schools, communities, or creative collaborations. Yet, Gemini's endless curiosity can also lead to challenges. Its desire for variety and stimulation may result in scattered focus, leaving projects unfinished or ideas unexplored. This archetype's restless nature can make it difficult to commit to a single path, as the allure of the next discovery often pulls it in new directions. The lesson for Gemini, and for those connecting with its energy, is to balance exploration with depth, ensuring that the knowledge gained is meaningful and applied. In relationships, Gemini brings lightness, playfulness, and a natural charm. It thrives on communication, valuing intellectual connection as much as emotional intimacy. Gemini partners are often witty, engaging, and full of surprises, keeping their relationships vibrant and dynamic. However, their need for variety and stimulation may sometimes be perceived as inconsistency, requiring them to practice patience and presence with those they care about. The duality of Gemini extends beyond its symbol. It reflects the human experience of navigating contrasts, light and shadow, logic and intuition, certainty and doubt. Gemini reminds us that these opposites are not in conflict but in dialogue, each offering insights that enrich our understanding. It encourages us to remain curious, to ask questions, and to see every situation from multiple angles. How often do we limit ourselves by clinging to a single perspective? Gemini invites us to broaden our view, to welcome complexity as a source of growth. Astrologically, Gemini's placement in your chart reveals where this energy of curiosity, communication, and connection is most active in your life. Is it in your career, inspiring you to share ideas and collaborate with others? Is it in your relationships, urging you to seek intellectual compatibility and open dialogue? Or perhaps it manifests in your personal growth, driving you to explore new philosophies and ways of thinking. Wherever Gemini resides, it brings an invitation to learn, to question, and to connect. One of Gemini's greatest gifts is its adaptability. This archetype thrives in change, seeing it not as a disruption but as an opportunity to grow. Gemini reminds us that the only constant in life is movement, and by embracing this flow, we can navigate life's transitions with grace and curiosity. Whether it's starting a new chapter, meeting new people, or exploring a new idea, Gemini energy encourages us to stay open and flexible, trusting that every experience has something valuable to teach. However, Gemini also reminds us of the importance of integration. Knowledge, by itself, is not enough. It must be understood and applied. The messenger archetype challenges us to go beyond collecting information, to reflect on how our learning shapes our choices and actions. What ideas are you bringing into your life, and how are they influencing your path? Are there areas where more focus or depth is needed to fully realize the potential of your curiosity? In the natural world, Gemini's energy aligns with the early days of summer, when the air is alive with movement and possibility. Just as the season invites exploration and discovery, Gemini calls us to step out of our comfort zones, to seek new experiences and connections. It is a time of growth, of weaving together the threads of knowledge and connection into a tapestry that enriches our lives. Ultimately, Gemini is the archetype of the storyteller, the bridge between worlds. It reminds us that life is a conversation, one that grows richer with every voice, every perspective, and every exchange. What stories are you telling, and how are they shaping your reality? How might you deepen your connections, with others, with yourself, and with the world around you? Gemini challenges us to embrace the art of communication, not just as a means of expression but as a pathway to understanding. The messenger's energy is always moving, always seeking. What are you seeking today? What questions are waiting to be asked, and what answers might lead you to even greater discoveries? Gemini invites you to dance with curiosity, to explore the world with an open heart and an open mind. Where will its energy take you, and how will you let it transform the way you see and share your world? As the energy of Gemini swirls around you like a refreshing breeze, pause to consider the connections and conversations that shape your life. Gemini teaches us that every word we speak, every idea we share, and every relationship we nurture is part of a greater tapestry, one woven with threads of understanding and exchange. What stories are you contributing to this tapestry? How might your curiosity and communication enrich both your inner and outer worlds? The messenger archetype invites you to reflect on the ways you engage with the world. Are there questions you've hesitated to ask, or connections you've left unexplored? What would it mean to approach life with the open-hearted curiosity of Gemini, seeking not just answers but deeper understanding? Gemini reminds you that even the simplest conversations can lead to profound insights, and that every encounter has the potential to teach you something new. Consider the duality within yourself, the contrasting desires, perspectives, and ideas that coexist in your mind and heart. How can you honor these different facets, integrating them into a harmonious whole? Gemini's energy shows us that our complexity is not a flaw but a strength, a source of endless growth and creativity. What might happen if you embraced this duality, seeing it as an opportunity to expand your understanding of yourself and the world? Gemini also asks us to be mindful of how we communicate. Words carry power, shaping our relationships and the reality around us. Are you using this power with intention, speaking in ways that uplift, clarify, and connect? Or are there areas where your communication could be more authentic or thoughtful? The messenger reminds us that our words are not just tools but bridges, connecting us to others and to our deeper truths. Finally, Gemini encourages us to remain open to the unexpected. Life is full of surprises, and the greatest discoveries often come from moments of spontaneity and exploration. Where might curiosity take you if you let go of the need for certainty? How might embracing the unknown lead you to new insights, relationships, and opportunities? The messenger's energy is always moving, always seeking, urging you to follow the threads of curiosity and connection wherever they may lead. As you carry Gemini's lessons forward, remember that every conversation, every idea, and every relationship is a chance to grow. What questions will you ask today, and how will their answers shape your journey? How will you honor the messenger within you, using its energy to create a life rich with connection, understanding, and possibility? Gemini invites you to step into the dance of communication and discovery, trusting that each step will bring you closer to the truth of who you are. Where will you begin? If this audiobook is sparking new insights for you, show some love by hitting like and subscribing. Let me know in the comments what resonates with you the most so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts as we go deeper. Chapter 7. Cancer, the Nurturer. Imagine the calm embrace of a moonlit night, the silvery light illuminating the gentle waves of a vast ocean. Beneath the surface, the water is deep and mysterious, holding untold secrets and an infinite capacity for life. This is the energy of Cancer, the nurturer of the Zodiac, whose essence is rooted in care, protection, and emotional connection. Just as the moon governs the tides, Cancer governs the emotional currents that flow within and between us, guiding us to deeper understanding and intimacy. Cancer, symbolized by the crab, represents the archetype of home, both in the physical and emotional sense. The crab carries its shell as a sanctuary, a reminder of the importance of creating spaces where we feel safe, nurtured, and whole. For Cancer, the concept of home extends beyond four walls. It is found in the relationships, memories, and experiences that ground us and give life its meaning. This archetype reminds us that our true home is not a place but a feeling, a sense of belonging and connection. Ruled by the moon, Cancer is deeply intuitive, reflecting the cycles of nature and the rhythms of the heart. The moon's influence imbues this sign with sensitivity and emotional depth, creating a powerful capacity for empathy and care. Cancer energy draws us inward, inviting us to explore our inner landscapes and to honor the emotions that shape our experiences. It teaches us that vulnerability is not a weakness but a strength, a doorway to authenticity and connection. Yet, the nurturer's energy is not only about self-reflection, it is also about extending care to others. Cancer embodies the timeless truth that to nurture another is to nurture oneself. Whether through acts of kindness, emotional support, or the creation of a safe and loving environment, Cancer energy calls us to be present for those we love. But it also reminds us of the importance of balance, urging us to care for ourselves as we care for others. As we journey into the heart of Cancer, let us ask, what does it mean to nurture? To provide not just for the needs of others but for your own as well. How can you create spaces of safety and love, both within and around you? The nurturer archetype is a powerful guide, leading us toward deeper connection and greater emotional resilience. What will its wisdom reveal to you? Cancer, the fourth sign of the Zodiac, is the archetype of nurture, connection, and emotional depth. Its energy is profoundly tied to the concepts of home, family, and the inner world, offering a sanctuary in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. Symbolized by the crab, Cancer embodies both vulnerability and resilience, carrying its protective shell while maintaining a tender, intuitive core. Ruled by the moon, Cancer's essence is inseparable from the lunar cycles that shape the tides and influence our emotions. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, Cancer understands that life is a series of phases, each with its own rhythms and lessons. This sensitivity to cycles makes Cancer deeply attuned to the needs of others, often serving as a source of comfort and care. Its energy is empathetic, reaching beyond the surface to connect with the unspoken feelings and experiences that define our shared humanity. At its heart, Cancer represents the idea of home, not just as a physical space but as a state of being. It teaches us that home is where we feel safe, accepted, and understood. This archetype calls us to cultivate environments that nourish both body and soul, whether through relationships, traditions, or personal rituals. For Cancer, home is not static. It is a dynamic space that adapts and grows with us, offering a foundation from which we can explore the world and return for renewal. This nurturing energy extends outward, manifesting in the ways we care for others. Cancer often takes on the role of the protector, offering a safe haven for loved ones to express their emotions and be themselves. This protective instinct is both a gift and a responsibility, requiring balance and boundaries to avoid the potential pitfalls of overextension or emotional enmeshment. Cancer's challenge is to nurture without losing itself, to give without depleting its own reserves. The element of water gives Cancer its emotional depth and intuitive power. Like the ocean, Cancer holds vast reservoirs of feeling, often navigating the unseen currents of its own and others' emotions. This sensitivity can be a profound strength, allowing Cancer to connect deeply and authentically. However, it can also make Cancer vulnerable to emotional overwhelm or a tendency to retreat into its shell when faced with conflict or vulnerability. Cancer's ability to nurture is rooted in its strong connection to the past. Memories, family traditions, and ancestral ties hold great significance for this sign, serving as a source of strength and identity. Cancer teaches us to honor our roots, to find meaning in the stories that have shaped us, and to carry their wisdom forward into the present. Yet, this connection to the past must be balanced with an openness to change, as clinging too tightly to what was can hinder growth and renewal. In relationships, Cancer energy shines as a source of unconditional love and support. It seeks deep, emotional bonds that provide a sense of belonging and security. Cancer's loyalty and devotion make it a steadfast partner and friend, someone who values the well-being of others as much as their own. However, this same intensity of care can sometimes lead to possessiveness or a reluctance to let go, underscoring the importance of trust and healthy boundaries in Cancer's relationships. Astrologically, the placement of Cancer in your chart reveals where this nurturing, intuitive energy is most active in your life. Is it in your relationships, guiding you to create deep emotional connections? Is it in your career, inspiring you to build a supportive and compassionate environment? Or perhaps it manifests in your inner world, calling you to cultivate a stronger connection to your emotions and intuition. Wherever Cancer resides, it brings an invitation to care deeply and to honor the emotional truths that shape your journey. Cancer's energy also aligns with the season of summer, a time of warmth, abundance, and the nurturing of life. Just as the earth reaches its fullest expression of growth during this season, Cancer invites us to nurture the seeds we've planted in our own lives, tending to them with care and patience. Whether it's a relationship, a creative project, or a personal goal, Cancer reminds us that true growth comes from consistent attention and love. Yet, Cancer's greatest lesson may lie in its ability to balance giving and receiving. The archetype of the nurturer teaches us that self-care is not selfish, it is essential. Just as the moon reflects the light of the sun, Cancer energy reminds us to replenish our own light by seeking the support and care we so readily offer to others. Are there areas in your life where you've been giving too much without refilling your own cup? How might embracing Cancer's wisdom help you restore balance and harmony? The nurturer's power is subtle but transformative, rooted in the belief that love, care, and connection can heal and sustain us. Cancer's energy invites us to see the sacred in the everyday, to find beauty in a shared meal, a heartfelt conversation, or a moment of stillness. What might you discover if you approached your life with this kind of care and intention? How could embracing Cancer's gifts bring more depth and meaning to your relationships, your home, and your inner world? Cancer's legacy is one of nurturing not only others but also oneself, recognizing that the two are deeply intertwined. By honoring your own needs and emotions, you create a foundation from which you can offer true, lasting care to those around you. What does it mean to nurture yourself fully, to create a home within that supports your growth and healing? How might this inner sanctuary transform the way you connect with the world? The answers lie within the gentle, powerful embrace of Cancer's wisdom. As you sit with the energy of Cancer, reflect on the ways you nurture and are nurtured in your life. Where do you find your sense of home? A space where you feel secure, valued, and at peace. Cancer reminds us that home is not always a physical place but an emotional state, cultivated through love, care, and connection. What steps can you take to strengthen this sense of belonging, both within yourself and in your relationships with others? Cancer's gifts lie in its ability to create and sustain safe spaces, where vulnerability and authenticity can thrive. Are you offering this kind of sanctuary to those around you? More importantly, are you offering it to yourself? The nurturer archetype challenges us to examine how we care for our own emotional needs, teaching that self-care is not indulgence but necessity. What practices might help you tend to your inner world with the same compassion you extend to others? The energy of Cancer also asks us to honor the rhythms and cycles of life. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, our emotions rise and fall, calling for patience and presence. Are there emotions you've been resisting or suppressing? Moments when you felt the urge to retreat into your shell? Cancer reminds us that these feelings are not weaknesses but signals, guiding us toward greater understanding and healing. How might you listen more closely to these inner tides? In relationships, Cancer's devotion and empathy shine as a reminder of the power of connection. How are you showing up for those you love? Are there ways you can deepen these bonds, offering your presence and care without losing sight of your own boundaries? Cancer teaches that true nurturing is a two-way street, built on mutual respect, trust, and support. Are your relationships reflecting this balance, or is there room for growth? Finally, Cancer invites you to embrace the beauty of life's simple, sacred moments. A heartfelt conversation, the comfort of a familiar routine, or the quiet joy of being present with yourself. All of these are expressions of Cancer's nurturing energy. What small acts of care or connection could bring more meaning to your day? How might slowing down and honoring these moments enrich your journey? As you carry Cancer's lessons forward, remember that nurturing begins within. By creating a home in your own heart, you lay the foundation for deeper connections and a more authentic life. What will you do today to honor the nurturer within you? How will you allow its wisdom to shape the way you care for yourself and others? Cancer reminds us that the greatest gift we can offer is love, and that love must start with the way we hold ourselves in the world. What does your heart need, and how will you answer its call? Chapter 8. Leo, the Radiant Sovereign. Imagine the sun rising on a clear, golden morning, its rays stretching across the sky to bathe the earth in warmth and light. There is no hesitation in its brilliance, no doubt in its purpose. It simply shines, offering its energy and vitality to all it touches. This is the energy of Leo, the Radiant Sovereign, the archetype of self-expression, confidence, and the unapologetic celebration of life's creative power. Leo, ruled by the sun, embodies the essence of individuality and personal power. It is the sign of the heart, urging us to connect with our truest selves and to express our unique gifts with courage and joy. Just as the sun is the center of the solar system, Leo energy reminds us of the importance of standing at the center of our own lives, embracing our passions, and shining our light for others to see. The archetype of the sovereign is not about dominance or control but about authenticity and self-mastery. Leo teaches us that true strength lies in knowing who we are and in sharing that truth with the world. It is the energy of leadership, not through force but through inspiration, encouraging others to do the same. Leo reminds us that when we live from the heart, we not only honor ourselves but also uplift those around us. Yet, with great light comes great responsibility. Leo's journey is one of balancing confidence with humility, self-expression with self-awareness. Its lesson is not just to shine but to shine in service of something greater, ensuring that the radiance of the self does not overshadow the collective good. How can we use our gifts to create, inspire, and lead while remaining rooted in generosity and compassion? As we explore the archetype of Leo, let us ask, what does it mean to shine brightly, to live fully in alignment with your passions and purpose? How can you embrace the sovereign within, stepping into your power without fear or hesitation? Leo's energy calls us to live boldly, to take center stage in the story of our own lives. What will you create, and how will your light illuminate the path for others? Leo, the fifth sign of the zodiac, radiates with the warmth and vitality of the sun, its ruling planet. Just as the sun is the life-giving force at the center of the solar system, Leo energy calls us to stand at the center of our own lives, embracing our unique gifts and expressing them with courage and joy. This is the archetype of the radiant sovereign, one who leads not by force but by authenticity, creativity, and a generous spirit. At its core, Leo represents the heart. It is the sign of self-expression, passion, and individuality, urging us to connect deeply with who we are and to live in alignment with our true essence. Leo's energy celebrates the power of the self, not as an isolated entity but as a source of light and inspiration for others. It reminds us that when we shine authentically, we create space for others to do the same, building a community rooted in mutual respect and encouragement. Creativity is a cornerstone of Leo's energy. This archetype thrives in the realm of creation, whether through art, performance, or simply the act of living boldly and beautifully. Leo teaches us that creativity is not reserved for the talented or the extraordinary. It is an inherent part of being human, a way to connect with our inner selves and to share our essence with the world. What are you creating in your life? How are you using your unique gifts to inspire, to uplift, and to leave your mark? Leo also embodies the energy of play and joy. Its fire is not just the heat of passion but the warmth of laughter, celebration, and connection. This archetype reminds us that life is meant to be enjoyed, that taking time for pleasure and self-expression is not indulgence but nourishment for the soul. Are you allowing yourself moments of joy, moments to reconnect with the things that make your heart sing? Leo asks us to prioritize these experiences, knowing they fuel our ability to shine brightly in all areas of life. However, with the brilliance of Leo comes the shadow of ego. The same energy that celebrates individuality can sometimes veer into arrogance or self-centeredness if not balanced with self-awareness and humility. The sovereign archetype is not about ruling over others but about leading from a place of generosity and love. It challenges us to ask, are we shining to uplift ourselves or to uplift the world? Are we seeking validation or are we living in alignment with our truth? Leo's lesson lies in mastering this balance. True sovereignty is not about dominance but about self-mastery, about knowing who we are and standing confidently in that truth while remaining open to others' perspectives and needs. It is about using our gifts to create not only for ourselves but for the collective, recognizing that our light is part of a greater whole. How might you align with this vision of leadership, one rooted in authenticity, humility, and service? In relationships, Leo brings warmth, passion, and loyalty. It values connection that is heartfelt and authentic, seeking partners who can match its enthusiasm and creativity. Leo's energy thrives in relationships that celebrate individuality while fostering mutual support and growth. However, the desire for recognition and affirmation can sometimes lead to challenges, requiring Leo to cultivate a sense of self-worth that is independent of external validation. Are your connections reflecting the light of your true self, or are they shaped by the need for approval? Astrologically, Leo's placement in your chart reveals where this radiant, expressive energy is most active in your life. Is it in your career, inspiring you to take bold steps and lead with confidence? Is it in your creative pursuits, urging you to share your talents with the world? Or perhaps it manifests in your personal relationships, encouraging you to love with an open heart and to celebrate the unique gifts of those around you. Wherever Leo resides, it invites you to embrace your passions and to lead with authenticity and joy. Leo's connection to the element of fire fuels its dynamic, passionate nature. Fire is the element of transformation, illuminating the path forward and burning away what no longer serves. Like the sun, Leo's energy is both sustaining and transformative, asking us to step into our power and to live fully in alignment with our desires and purpose. What areas of your life are calling for this fire? Where can you bring more passion, more creativity, and more light? This energy is also deeply tied to the idea of legacy. Leo asks us to consider not only what we are creating today but what we are leaving behind for others. What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? How can you use your gifts and your light to create something enduring, something that inspires and uplifts even after you are gone? The sovereign archetype reminds us that our greatest power lies not in what we take but in what we give. Ultimately, Leo challenges us to live boldly, to embrace our uniqueness, and to step into the spotlight of our own lives. This is not about perfection or performance but about authenticity and self-expression. What would it look like to live as the radiant sovereign of your own story, creating from the heart and leading with love? How might embracing Leo's energy transform the way you see yourself and the world? The radiant sovereign calls us to honor the light within, to nurture it, and to share it freely with those around us. Where in your life are you ready to shine? What gifts are you ready to share, and how will they illuminate the path for others? Leo reminds us that the world needs our light, not just a flicker, but the full brilliance of who we are. Are you ready to step into your radiance? Are you ready to lead with the power of your authentic self? As you bask in the warmth of Leo's energy, take a moment to reflect on the light you bring into the world. The radiant sovereign archetype invites you to embrace your unique brilliance, to honor the passions and gifts that make you who you are. Where in your life are you already shining brightly, and where might your light be dimmed by self-doubt or fear? Leo teaches us that the act of stepping into our radiance is not only a gift to ourselves but an inspiration to others. What does it mean to you to live authentically, to align your actions with your deepest passions and truths? Are there dreams or creative pursuits that have been waiting for your attention, waiting for you to bring them into the light? Leo's energy reminds us that self-expression is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It challenges you to consider, what is the unique mark you wish to leave on the world, and how can you take the first step toward creating it? Leo also asks us to reflect on the balance between confidence and humility. Are you expressing your gifts in a way that uplifts and inspires, or are you seeking external validation to fill an inner void? The radiant sovereign knows that true leadership comes from within, rooted in authenticity and a deep sense of purpose. How can you embody this kind of leadership in your own life, guiding others by the example of living boldly and joyfully? In relationships, Leo's warmth and generosity offer a reminder of the power of connection. Are you showing up fully for the people you care about, sharing your light in ways that foster trust and growth? Conversely, are you surrounding yourself with those who celebrate your radiance and encourage your self-expression? Leo teaches us that relationships should be spaces where both partners can shine, supporting each other in their individual journeys. Finally, Leo invites you to celebrate life's joys, to find moments of play and creativity that feed your soul. When was the last time you allowed yourself to truly enjoy the moment, to let go of worries and simply bask in the beauty of being alive? How might more of these moments enrich your journey and bring you closer to your authentic self? Leo reminds us that joy is not frivolous. It is essential fuel for the fire that keeps us burning brightly. As you carry the lessons of Leo forward, remember that your light is unique, and the world needs it. What will you create with your radiance? How will you use your gifts to inspire, to lead, and to uplift those around you? The Radiant Sovereign invites you to step fully into your power, knowing that when you shine authentically, you illuminate not only your own path but also the paths of those who walk beside you. What will your light reveal, and how will it transform the world? Chapter 9. Virgo, the Sacred Artisan. Picture a master artisan in a tranquil workshop, sunlight streaming through the window, illuminating the intricate tools and delicate details of their craft. With calm precision, they refine their work, shaping raw materials into something beautiful and functional. This is the essence of Virgo, the sacred artisan of the Zodiac, whose energy is dedicated to service, refinement, and the pursuit of excellence. Virgo, ruled by Mercury, thrives in the realm of practicality and precision. Its symbol, the Virgin, represents purity, not in a restrictive sense, but as a commitment to authenticity, integrity, and the perfection of one's craft. Virgo's energy is grounded and deliberate, calling us to focus on the details, to tend to the small tasks that collectively create something greater. In the Virgo archetype, we see the sacredness of work, the value of dedication, and the transformative power of service. This sign's connection to the earth element emphasizes its practicality and focus on tangible results. Virgo energy encourages us to organize, analyze, and refine, bringing clarity and order to chaos. It reminds us that even the most ambitious dreams require structure and effort to bring them into reality. Virgo is the architect who drafts the blueprint, the gardener who tends the soil, the healer who carefully nurtures the body and spirit. Yet, Virgo's energy extends beyond mere functionality. It is deeply connected to the idea of service, not as sacrifice, but as an act of devotion. The sacred artisan teaches us that when we approach our work, our relationships, and our lives with care and intention, we elevate the ordinary into the extraordinary. Virgo asks us to consider, how can we refine not only what we do but who we are? What might happen if we embraced the same level of care and dedication in all areas of our lives? As we step into the world of Virgo, let us explore the ways this archetype invites us to honor our craft, to refine our gifts, and to find purpose in service. What parts of your life are calling for greater focus and intention? How can you embody Virgo's wisdom to create something truly meaningful? The sacred artisan's energy reminds us that every detail matters, and that the smallest acts of care can have the most profound impact. Virgo, the sixth sign of the Zodiac, is a master of precision, practicality, and purpose. It is the archetype of the sacred artisan, one who transforms chaos into order, raw potential into refined excellence. Grounded in the earth element and ruled by Mercury, Virgo embodies the harmony of intellect and pragmatism, teaching us that even the most mundane tasks hold the potential for sacredness when approached with intention and care. At its core, Virgo thrives on service and functionality. This archetype is deeply connected to the principle of refinement, emphasizing that true mastery comes from dedication and attention to detail. Whether organizing a workspace, tending to a garden, or crafting a life filled with meaning, Virgo understands that the process is as important as the outcome. It is not enough to create. The creation must serve a purpose, must align with a higher ideal of integrity and usefulness. Virgo's connection to Mercury brings intellectual sharpness and analytical prowess. This energy excels at breaking complex situations into manageable parts, finding solutions, and creating systems that bring clarity and efficiency. Virgo's ability to focus on the details allows it to see what others might overlook, making it an indispensable force in creating order and solving problems. Yet, this same focus can sometimes lead to overthinking or perfectionism, a reminder of the need to balance critical analysis with acceptance and flow. The earth element gives Virgo its grounding and practicality. While some signs are dreamers, Virgo is the doer, turning visions into reality through steady, consistent effort. This energy values discipline and hard work, seeing them as pathways to growth and fulfillment. However, Virgo's dedication can sometimes become a double-edged sword, leading to self-criticism or a tendency to take on too much in the pursuit of perfection. The sacred artisan's lesson here is to recognize that perfection is not a destination but a process, one that requires compassion for oneself as much as for others. Virgo's energy is deeply tied to the concept of service. For this archetype, work is not merely a means to an end but a way to contribute to the greater good. Virgo finds fulfillment in helping others, often acting as a healer, teacher, or caretaker. This devotion to service is not about self-sacrifice but about honoring the interconnectedness of life. Virgo reminds us that when we care for others, we also care for ourselves, and that true service is an act of love and purpose. Health and well-being are central themes in Virgo's domain. This sign understands the importance of maintaining balance in body, mind, and spirit, emphasizing the role of daily habits and routines in creating a harmonious life. Virgo energy encourages us to examine how we care for ourselves. Are we nourishing our bodies with wholesome food? Are we creating time for rest and reflection? Are we organizing our days in ways that support our goals and values? The sacred artisan teaches us that even the smallest choices can have a profound impact on our overall well-being. Virgo's connection to the harvest season reflects its role as a gatherer and organizer. Just as farmers reap the fruits of their labor during this time, Virgo energy asks us to assess what we've cultivated in our own lives. What projects, relationships, or habits are bearing fruit, and which ones may need pruning? This archetype challenges us to take an honest inventory, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to focus our energy on what truly matters. Relationships with Virgo energy are often marked by loyalty, practicality, and a deep sense of care. Virgo shows love through actions rather than grand gestures, offering support, guidance, and tangible acts of service. However, this focus on helping others can sometimes lead to overextension or a tendency to fix what does not need fixing. Virgo's journey in relationships is to balance its natural inclination to nurture with the understanding that others must also walk their own paths. Astrologically, the placement of Virgo in your chart reveals where this energy of refinement and service is most active in your life. Is it in your career, inspiring you to create systems and solutions that benefit others? Is it in your relationships, encouraging you to approach connections with care and intention? Or perhaps it manifests in your personal growth, guiding you to refine your habits and align your actions with your values. Wherever Virgo resides, it brings an invitation to focus, to dedicate yourself, and to find purpose in your efforts. One of Virgo's most profound lessons lies in its approach to imperfection. While this archetype seeks excellence, it also reminds us that the flaws and challenges we encounter are opportunities for growth. The sacred artisan does not shy away from mistakes but learns from them, understanding that the journey toward mastery is paved with moments of trial and error. Virgo's wisdom lies in its ability to see beauty in the process, to find grace in the act of striving even when perfection feels out of reach. Ultimately, Virgo challenges us to embrace the sacredness of our daily lives. It reminds us that the smallest acts, tidying a space, preparing a meal, offering a kind word, can have profound meaning when done with care and intention. The sacred artisan teaches us that our work, whatever form it takes, is a reflection of who we are and what we value. What would it look like to approach your life with this level of mindfulness and dedication? Virgo's energy invites us to honor the details, to refine our actions, and to find fulfillment in service. What parts of your life are calling for greater focus, care, and intention? How might embracing the sacred artisan's wisdom transform the way you approach your work, your relationships, and your inner world? Virgo reminds us that every detail matters, that the smallest efforts can create the greatest impact. What will you craft with this energy, and how will it shape the story of your life? As you reflect on the energy of Virgo, consider the ways you bring order, intention, and care into your life. The sacred artisan archetype invites you to see your daily tasks and routines not as mundane obligations but as opportunities to create meaning and beauty. What small acts of care, both for yourself and for others, can you elevate into something sacred? How might you honor the details of your life with the same reverence and attention that Virgo embodies? Virgo's wisdom lies in its ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, to recognize that even the smallest efforts can have profound impact. Are there areas in your life where chaos or neglect has taken hold? What might it feel like to approach these areas with Virgo's patient, deliberate energy, bringing clarity and structure where there was once disarray? This is not about perfection but about alignment, aligning your actions with your values, your intentions with your outcomes. Service is at the heart of Virgo's energy, and the sacred artisan reminds us that true service begins within. Are you caring for yourself in ways that allow you to fully care for others? Are your efforts fueled by love and purpose, or are they weighed down by obligation and self-criticism? Virgo teaches that service is not about sacrifice but about devotion to our work, our relationships, and our growth. How can you shift your mindset to see service as a source of fulfillment and joy? Virgo also calls us to embrace imperfection, to find grace in the process of striving rather than fixating on unattainable ideals. What would it mean to forgive yourself for the moments when things don't go as planned, to see mistakes not as failures but as stepping stones toward mastery? The sacred artisan reminds us that life itself is a craft, one that grows richer and more meaningful with every attempt to refine it. Finally, Virgo challenges us to honor the interconnectedness of all things. Just as a single thread contributes to the beauty of a tapestry, your small actions contribute to the larger story of your life and the lives of those around you. What are you weaving with your efforts, and how can you approach this process with greater care and intention? Virgo's energy invites you to see your work, whatever form it takes, as a reflection of your deepest values and aspirations. As you carry Virgo's lessons forward, remember that every detail matters, every act of care counts. What will you refine, and what will you let go? How will you bring greater clarity, purpose, and intention to the life you are crafting? The sacred artisan reminds us that we are both the creators and the creations, constantly shaping and being shaped by the world around us. What masterpiece will you leave in your wake, and how will you honor the sacredness of your journey? Chapter 10. Libra, the Harmonizer. Envision a serene garden at sunset, where every element, each tree, flower, and pathway, has been carefully placed to create balance and harmony. The air feels calm, and the golden light gently touches everything, illuminating the beauty of connection and equilibrium. This is the essence of Libra, the harmonizer of the Zodiac, whose energy is dedicated to balance, fairness, and the creation of beauty in all areas of life. Libra, ruled by Venus, the planet of love and aesthetics, thrives in the realm of relationships and harmony. Its symbol, the scales, reflects its core desire for balance, not only in partnerships but also within the self and the world. Libra energy seeks to bridge divides, to unite opposing forces, and to create a sense of unity that honors both individuality and connection. The Harmonizer archetype is deeply attuned to the power of relationships, understanding that life's richest experiences often come from the bonds we form with others. Whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or collaborations, Libra teaches us to value mutual respect, cooperation, and the art of compromise. It reminds us that balance is not about losing oneself but about finding ways to honor both our needs and the needs of those around us. Yet, Libra's energy extends beyond relationships. It is also a guide for finding balance in every area of life, between work and rest, action and reflection, giving and receiving. The Harmonizer encourages us to seek beauty and fairness, to create spaces where all voices are heard, and to approach life with grace and consideration. How might embracing this energy bring greater harmony to your journey? As we delve into the world of Libra, let us reflect on the ways this archetype invites us to create balance, nurture relationships, and celebrate beauty. What parts of your life feel harmonious, and what parts are calling for adjustment? How can you embody Libra's wisdom to bring more fairness, connection, and peace into your world? The Harmonizer reminds us that balance is not static, it is a dynamic, ongoing dance. What steps will you take to align with its rhythm? Libra, the seventh sign of the Zodiac, embodies the pursuit of harmony, balance, and connection. As the sign of the scales, Libra thrives in the interplay of opposites, seeking to create equilibrium between differing forces. This archetype, ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is deeply connected to relationships, aesthetics, and the ideals of fairness and justice. It invites us to explore how we navigate the delicate balance between self and other, between individuality and unity. At its core, Libra is the archetype of partnership. It understands that life is enriched through connection, whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or collaborations. Libra energy values mutual respect and reciprocity, encouraging us to create bonds that are equal, supportive, and harmonious. It teaches that a successful relationship is not about losing oneself but about integrating two unique perspectives into a balanced whole. Where in your life are you being called to create or strengthen such connections? Libra's connection to Venus infuses it with an appreciation for beauty and refinement. This archetype finds joy in creating environments that are pleasing and balanced, both externally and internally. Whether through art, design, or the simple act of making a space welcoming and peaceful, Libra energy reminds us that beauty is a vital part of life. How might you bring more beauty into your surroundings or cultivate an inner sense of aesthetic harmony? One of Libra's greatest strengths lies in its ability to mediate and unite. This sign is skilled at seeing multiple perspectives and finding common ground, making it a natural peacemaker. Libra energy encourages us to approach conflicts with grace, seeking solutions that honor all parties involved. It challenges us to ask, are we listening to the voices of others, and are we considering their needs alongside our own? How might we bring more fairness and understanding to our interactions? Yet, Libra's commitment to balance can also present challenges. In its pursuit of harmony, Libra may struggle with indecision, hesitating to act for fear of upsetting the equilibrium. This can lead to a tendency to avoid conflict or to prioritize others' needs at the expense of its own. The Harmonizer archetype reminds us that true balance requires acknowledging and honoring our own desires and boundaries. How can you ensure that your quest for harmony includes yourself? Libra is also deeply connected to the idea of justice. Its scales symbolize not only personal balance but also the broader ideals of fairness and equality. This archetype inspires us to consider the ethical dimensions of our choices and to stand up for what is right. Whether advocating for social justice, fostering inclusivity, or simply ensuring fairness in daily interactions, Libra energy calls us to create a world that reflects these values. Where in your life can you contribute to greater fairness and equality? Astrologically, Libra governs the seventh house, the house of relationships and partnerships. This placement emphasizes the importance of one-on-one connections as mirrors of the self. Through our interactions with others, we gain insight into our own strengths, challenges, and patterns. Libra reminds us that relationships are not only about companionship but also about growth, offering opportunities to learn, heal, and evolve. What are your closest relationships teaching you about yourself? The element of air gives Libra its intellectual and communicative nature. This archetype thrives in the exchange of ideas, using dialogue as a tool for connection and understanding. Libra encourages us to approach conversations with openness and curiosity, seeking to build bridges rather than walls. How might you use your words to foster greater connection and clarity in your relationships? Libra's season, which coincides with the autumnal equinox, reflects its essence of balance. This is a time when day and night are equal, a moment of perfect equilibrium in nature. Just as the equinox reminds us of the cyclical nature of balance, Libra teaches that harmony is not a fixed state but an ongoing process. It asks us to continually assess and adjust, to remain flexible and present as we navigate life's shifts. Are there areas in your life that need rebalancing, and what steps can you take to restore equilibrium? One of Libra's deepest lessons is the importance of self-awareness in creating harmony. The scales are not only external but also internal, representing the balance between our inner world and outer actions. Libra challenges us to examine how our thoughts, emotions, and choices align with our values. Are we living authentically, and are our relationships reflecting our truth? The Harmonizer reminds us that true peace begins within. Ultimately, Libra's energy invites us to celebrate the beauty of connection, the art of compromise, and the power of collaboration. It teaches us that harmony is not about erasing differences but about embracing them, finding ways to create unity without sacrificing individuality. How can you embody this vision in your life? Where can you bring more balance, fairness, and beauty into your journey? The Harmonizer archetype encourages us to see relationships as sacred, to approach them with care, and to honor the unique gifts that each connection brings. What would it look like to approach your interactions with the grace and intention of Libra? How might this shift transform not only your relationships but also your sense of self? Libra reminds us that balance is not just something we create, it is something we live. What will you do today to honor its wisdom? As you reflect on the energy of Libra, consider the balance and harmony present or absent in your life. The Harmonizer archetype invites you to assess your relationships, your routines, and your inner world with honesty and compassion. Where do you feel a sense of equilibrium, and where do you sense imbalance? Libra teaches us that harmony is not static, it is a dynamic process of adjustment and alignment. What small shifts could bring greater balance to your journey? Think about the relationships that shape your life. Are they built on mutual respect, understanding, and reciprocity? Libra reminds us that partnerships thrive when both parties are seen, heard, and valued. Are there connections in your life that need more attention, or perhaps clearer boundaries? How might you approach these relationships with the grace and intentionality of Libra, fostering deeper understanding and connection? Libra also calls us to examine our inner world. The scales of this archetype are not only external. They represent the balance within us, the harmony between our desires and responsibilities, our emotions and intellect, our individuality and interconnectedness. Are there areas where you feel out of alignment with yourself? What practices could help you restore this inner balance and bring a greater sense of peace? The pursuit of fairness and beauty is another cornerstone of Libra's energy. How are you contributing to a more just and inclusive world? Whether in small acts of kindness or larger efforts to create change, Libra reminds us that our choices ripple outward, affecting the balance of the collective. At the same time, this archetype encourages us to find beauty in life's moments, to pause and appreciate the aesthetic and emotional harmony that surrounds us. What beauty can you create or celebrate today? Finally, Libra invites you to embrace the ongoing nature of balance. Harmony is not a destination but a practice, one that requires awareness, flexibility, and intention. What areas of your life are calling for greater harmony, and how might you approach them with the grace of Libra? The Harmonizer reminds us that even the smallest adjustments can create profound shifts, both within and around us. As you carry Libra's lessons forward, remember that balance begins with you. What will you do to nurture your relationships, to create beauty and fairness, and to align your actions with your values? How might embracing the Harmonizer's energy transform your experience of connection, both with others and with yourself? Libra teaches us that harmony is not just something we seek. It is something we cultivate, moment by moment, with intention and love. What steps will you take to honor its wisdom today? Chapter 11. Scorpio, the Alchemist. Imagine a phoenix rising from the ashes, its vibrant feathers shimmering against the backdrop of a darkened sky. This image captures the essence of Scorpio, the alchemist of the Zodiac, whose energy is steeped in transformation, intensity, and the profound mysteries of life and death. Scorpio is not afraid to delve into the depths, embracing the cycles of destruction and renewal that lead to true growth. Ruled by Mars, the planet of action, and Pluto, the planet of transformation, Scorpio's energy is potent and unrelenting. It is the sign of rebirth, guiding us through the shadows of our inner worlds to uncover hidden truths and untapped power. Scorpio teaches us that transformation is not merely change. It is an alchemical process, a complete reconfiguration of the self that strips away what no longer serves and reveals our truest essence. The archetype of the alchemist is not for the faint of heart. It asks us to confront what we fear most, to explore the depths of our psyche, and to embrace the unknown with courage and vulnerability. Scorpio energy thrives in the realms of emotion, intuition, and the unseen, reminding us that the greatest treasures are often hidden in the places we least want to look. Yet, Scorpio's power is not only in its intensity, it is also in its loyalty, passion, and capacity for deep connection. This sign values authenticity above all else, seeking relationships and experiences that are profound, transformative, and true. Scorpio energy reminds us that life's most meaningful moments often come from the depths, not the surface. As we enter the world of Scorpio, let us ask, what parts of yourself are ready to be transformed? What truths are waiting to be uncovered, and what fears must you face to find them? The Alchemist invites us to embrace the full spectrum of life, to rise from the ashes of the past, and to step into the power of who we are becoming. What will you discover in the depths of Scorpio's wisdom? Scorpio, the eighth sign of the Zodiac, is the archetype of transformation, intensity, and the pursuit of profound truth. Symbolized by the scorpion and ruled by the powerful forces of Mars and Pluto, Scorpio embodies the cycle of death and rebirth, asking us to confront life's depths with courage and vulnerability. This is not a sign content with the superficial. Scorpio dives into the unseen, exploring the mysteries of emotion, power, and the soul's evolution. At its core, Scorpio is the alchemist, guiding us through processes of profound change. Its energy teaches us that transformation is not about surface-level adjustments but about deep, inner work. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, Scorpio energy requires us to let go of what no longer serves us, whether outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, or unproductive habits, and to embrace the uncertainty of what lies beyond. Where in your life are you being called to release, to surrender, and to trust in the process of renewal. Pluto's influence gives Scorpio its connection to power and transformation. This planet rules over the unseen forces that shape our lives, death, rebirth, and the undercurrents of the psyche. Pluto challenges us to examine our relationship with power. Do we wield it responsibly, or do we seek to control out of fear? Scorpio energy reminds us that true power comes not from domination but from authenticity and self-awareness. Are there areas in your life where you can step into your power more fully, and how might you do so with integrity? Mars, Scorpio's co-ruler, adds a layer of passion and drive, infusing this sign with determination and resilience. Scorpio energy is not easily deterred. It thrives on challenges and is willing to go to great lengths to achieve its goals. This determination, combined with emotional depth, makes Scorpio a force of nature, capable of transforming not only itself but also the world around it. What goals or desires are you ready to pursue with Scorpio's unwavering focus and intensity? Scorpio's element is water, which connects it to emotion, intuition, and the unseen. However, unlike the flowing rivers of Cancer or the adaptable currents of Pisces, Scorpio's water is deep, still, and mysterious. It is the energy of the ocean's depths, where the most profound truths and treasures are hidden. Scorpio asks us to dive beneath the surface of our emotions, to explore the parts of ourselves we often keep hidden, and to confront our fears and vulnerabilities. What emotions or truths have you been avoiding, and how might facing them bring healing and clarity? This sign's capacity for emotional intensity extends to its relationships. Scorpio values authenticity and depth, seeking connections that go beyond the superficial. It craves intimacy that is both emotional and spiritual, a merging of souls that fosters growth and transformation. However, this intensity can also lead to challenges, such as possessiveness or fear of betrayal. Scorpio's lesson in relationships is to balance its desire for closeness with trust and independence, allowing for connections that are both profound and healthy. How can you bring greater authenticity and depth to your relationships, and where might trust need to be cultivated? Scorpio's energy also invites us to explore the shadow, the parts of ourselves we fear or deny. This archetype understands that true growth comes from confronting the shadow, integrating its lessons, and transforming its power into strength. Are there aspects of your psyche that you've been hesitant to face? What might happen if you approached these parts of yourself with curiosity and compassion rather than judgment? Astrologically, Scorpio governs the 8th house, which rules over shared resources, transformation, and the mysteries of life and death. This house reflects Scorpio's role as the guide through life's transitions, whether financial, emotional, or spiritual. The 8th house teaches us that we are never truly separate. Our lives are intertwined with others and with forces beyond our control. Scorpio energy invites us to honor these connections and to navigate their complexities with courage and grace. The season of Scorpio, which occurs during autumn, mirrors its themes of release and renewal. As the leaves fall and the earth prepares for winter, we are reminded of the cyclical nature of life. Scorpio's energy encourages us to embrace these cycles, to see endings not as losses but as opportunities for transformation. What are you being called to release, and what new possibilities might emerge in the space you create? Scorpio's intensity can sometimes feel overwhelming, but its power lies in its ability to transform pain into wisdom, fear into courage, and endings into beginnings. It teaches us that the greatest treasures are often hidden in the darkest places and that by facing these depths, we can emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with our truth. Are there parts of your life where you are resisting transformation, and how might surrendering to the process bring healing and growth? Ultimately, Scorpio reminds us that life's most profound experiences often come from the depths, from moments of vulnerability, authenticity, and transformation. The Alchemist challenges us to embrace these depths, to honor the cycles of life and death, and to trust in the power of renewal. What truths are waiting to be uncovered in your life, and how can you harness Scorpio's energy to rise, like the phoenix, into your fullest potential? The depths are calling. Are you ready to dive in? As you sit with the energy of Scorpio, take a moment to reflect on the cycles of transformation in your life. What chapters have you closed, and what new beginnings have emerged from their endings? Scorpio reminds us that life is a continuous process of growth and renewal, and that the ashes of the past often hold the seeds of the future. What are you being called to release, and how might letting go create space for something new to arise? The Alchemist archetype teaches us that the greatest transformations occur when we face life's depths with courage and honesty. Are there fears, emotions, or truths you've been avoiding? What might happen if you approached them with the same intensity and curiosity that Scorpio embodies? Scorpio's energy is a reminder that the path to healing and self-discovery often lies in the shadows, waiting for us to bring them into the light. Consider the ways Scorpio's themes of authenticity and depth resonate in your relationships. Are there connections in your life that feel shallow or unbalanced? How might you cultivate greater intimacy and trust, allowing your relationships to transform into spaces of growth and mutual support? Scorpio challenges us to seek connections that nourish our souls, relationships where we can be fully seen and accepted. Scorpio also invites us to explore our relationship with power and vulnerability. True power, the Alchemist reminds us, comes not from control but from alignment with our inner truth. Are there areas in your life where you've been giving away your power or seeking it in ways that no longer serve you? How might embracing vulnerability and authenticity bring you closer to your true strength? Finally, Scorpio's energy encourages us to honor life's mysteries and to trust in the process of transformation. Just as the phoenix rises renewed from the ashes, you, too, have the power to recreate yourself and your life. What parts of yourself are ready to be reborn, and how can you harness Scorpio's intensity and determination to bring your vision to life? As you carry Scorpio's lessons forward, remember that transformation is not a destination but an ongoing journey. What will you uncover in the depths of your inner world, and how will it shape the person you are becoming? The Alchemist archetype reminds us that within every ending lies the promise of a new beginning, and within every shadow lies the potential for light. Are you ready to embrace the power of your own transformation and rise, stronger and more radiant, into the truth of who you are? The depths are calling. What will you discover? Chapter 12. Sagittarius, the Seeker. Picture a lone traveler standing at the edge of an open horizon, the vast expanse of the unknown stretching out before them. Their heart is alive with curiosity, their spirit ignited by the promise of discovery. This is the essence of Sagittarius, the seeker of the Zodiac, whose energy is devoted to exploration, truth, and the boundless possibilities that lie beyond the familiar. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and wisdom, thrives in the pursuit of knowledge and meaning. Symbolized by the archer, this archetype is always aiming for higher understanding, shooting its arrows of intention toward the truths that lie just beyond reach. Sagittarius reminds us that life is not only a journey but an adventure, one that invites us to embrace change, challenge our perspectives, and grow beyond our perceived limitations. The seeker archetype is deeply connected to the quest for purpose. Sagittarius is not content with surface-level answers. It seeks the deeper truths that unite and illuminate the human experience. This energy thrives on philosophical inquiry, cultural exploration, and the thrill of stepping into the unknown. It teaches us that the greatest discoveries often come when we venture beyond the boundaries of what we already know. Yet, Sagittarius gifts extend beyond intellectual and physical exploration. It is also the sign of optimism and faith, encouraging us to see life as a series of opportunities rather than obstacles. The seeker's energy reminds us to trust in the journey, to embrace its twists and turns as essential parts of our growth. How might you embody this energy in your own life, finding meaning and purpose in the path you're walking? As we begin our exploration of Sagittarius, let us reflect on the questions that drive our own journeys. What truths are you seeking, and what horizons are calling you forward? How can you embrace the spirit of the seeker, stepping into the unknown with curiosity and courage? Sagittarius invites you to expand your vision, to live boldly, and to trust that the journey itself is as meaningful as the destination. Where will its wisdom lead you? Sagittarius, the ninth sign of the zodiac, is the archetype of the adventurer, the philosopher, and the truth seeker. Represented by the archer, Sagittarius aims its arrow toward distant horizons, always seeking the next great discovery, whether in the physical world, the realm of ideas, or the depths of the soul. Its energy is dynamic and expansive, urging us to explore, question, and grow. Ruled by Jupiter, the planet of abundance and wisdom, Sagittarius thrives on expansion, in knowledge, experience, and perspective. Jupiter's influence imbues Sagittarius with a boundless curiosity and optimism, a belief that there is always more to learn and explore. This energy is the antidote to stagnation, encouraging us to step outside of our comfort zones and embrace the unknown. What areas of your life are calling for expansion, and how might you answer that call? At its core, Sagittarius is driven by a quest for meaning. This archetype is not content with surface-level understanding. It seeks the truths that connect and illuminate the human experience. Sagittarius often finds itself drawn to philosophy, spirituality, and cultural exploration, using these tools to build a broader perspective on life. It challenges us to ask, what beliefs and values guide your journey? Are they rooted in your own experiences, or have they been inherited without question? Sagittarius reminds us that part of the journey is reevaluating what we hold to be true. This sign is also associated with travel, both literal and metaphorical. Sagittarius thrives in motion, whether journeying to new places, engaging with unfamiliar cultures, or exploring new ideas. For the seeker, every step outside the familiar is an opportunity for growth and discovery. However, this relentless drive for exploration can sometimes manifest as restlessness or a tendency to avoid commitment. Sagittarius teaches us to balance its adventurous spirit with grounding, ensuring that we don't overlook the wisdom found in the present moment. Are there areas where your desire for movement might be preventing you from fully engaging with the here and now? Sagittarius is a fire sign, and its energy burns brightly with enthusiasm, passion, and a zest for life. This fire fuels the seeker's optimism, inspiring us to see opportunities where others might see obstacles. Sagittarius energy is contagious, lifting those around it with its belief in possibility and its love for adventure. Yet, this same fire can sometimes lead to impatience or overextension, as Sagittarius' desire for more can overshadow the need for focus and moderation. How might you channel this energy to pursue your goals while staying mindful of your limits? The seeker archetype is also deeply tied to teaching and sharing knowledge. Sagittarius often acts as a guide or mentor, using its own experiences to inspire and uplift others. It reminds us that wisdom is not meant to be hoarded but shared, that our own journeys can illuminate the paths of those around us. Where in your life might you step into the role of teacher or mentor, sharing your insights and empowering others on their journeys? In relationships, Sagittarius brings a sense of adventure and open-mindedness. It values freedom and honesty, thriving in connections that allow for both individual growth and shared exploration. However, Sagittarius' need for independence can sometimes create challenges, particularly in relationships that require a greater degree of stability or routine. The seeker's lesson in this area is to balance its love of freedom with the commitment and presence that deep relationships require. How might you bring more balance to your connections, honoring both your need for exploration and your partner's needs for consistency? Astrologically, Sagittarius governs the ninth house, which rules higher learning, philosophy, travel, and the quest for truth. This house reflects Sagittarius' role as a guide through the big questions of life. Why are we here? What gives life meaning? How can we align with our highest purpose? The ninth house invites us to explore not only the world but also our own beliefs, encouraging us to expand our understanding and align our actions with our values. What questions are guiding your journey, and how might exploring them bring greater clarity and purpose? The season of Sagittarius, which falls as the year begins to wane, reflects its energy of expansion and celebration. It is a time of festivals, gatherings, and the sharing of stories, a moment to reflect on the journeys we've taken and to dream of those still to come. Sagittarius teaches us that life is a mosaic of experiences, each one contributing to the bigger picture. How might you honor the experiences that have shaped you while remaining open to the adventures ahead? Ultimately, Sagittarius challenges us to embrace the unknown with curiosity and courage. It reminds us that growth requires risk, that meaning is found not in comfort but in the willingness to explore. Whether through travel, study, or self-reflection, the seeker archetype urges us to expand our horizons and to trust in the process of discovery. What new paths are calling to you, and how might you step into them with the boldness of Sagittarius? The seeker's energy is one of hope, possibility, and transformation. It asks us to trust that the journey itself is the destination, that every step we take brings us closer to our truth. Where in your life are you ready to explore, to grow, and to expand? How can you embody the wisdom of Sagittarius, embracing the adventure of life with an open heart and a curious mind? The horizon is vast, the possibilities endless. What will you discover as you journey forward? As you sit with the expansive energy of Sagittarius, reflect on the journeys that have shaped your life, both the physical paths you've walked and the inner explorations you've undertaken. What have these experiences taught you about the world, about others, and about yourself? Sagittarius reminds us that every step we take, every question we ask, is part of a larger quest for meaning. What truths have you discovered, and what new horizons are calling to you now? The seeker archetype encourages us to embrace the spirit of adventure, not just in travel or study but in the way we approach each day. Are there areas of your life where you've grown too comfortable, where the excitement of discovery has faded? How might you bring Sagittarius curiosity and optimism into these spaces, finding joy in exploration and growth? Remember, the journey is as much about the questions we ask as the answers we find. Consider, too, the role of expansion in your life. Sagittarius thrives on the energy of growth, always seeking to broaden its perspective and deepen its understanding. Are there beliefs, habits, or routines that no longer serve your growth? What would it look like to let go of what limits you and to step into a space of greater possibility? Sagittarius teaches us that the unknown is not something to fear but something to embrace, a canvas waiting for our boldest strokes. In relationships, the seeker reminds us of the importance of honesty, freedom, and shared exploration. Are your connections supporting your growth, or are they keeping you tethered to the past? How can you cultivate relationships that inspire mutual learning and adventure, where both partners are free to pursue their paths while sharing in the journey? Sagittarius shows us that love is not about possession but about walking side by side toward a shared horizon. Finally, Sagittarius asks us to celebrate life's beauty and abundance. This sign's energy is deeply optimistic, believing in the infinite potential of the world and the power of human spirit. What can you celebrate in your life today? How might an attitude of gratitude and wonder transform the way you see the world? Sagittarius reminds us that every moment is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to expand our understanding of what is possible. As you carry Sagittarius lessons forward, remember that you are both the traveler and the destination, the seeker and the truth. What new adventures are waiting for you, and how will you step into them with the courage and curiosity of the seeker? Sagittarius invites you to aim high, to dream big, and to trust that the journey itself is the greatest reward. Where will its wisdom lead you next? The horizon is vast, and the possibilities are endless. What will you discover on your path? Chapter 13. Capricorn, the Architect. Picture a majestic mountain rising into the sky, its peak cloaked in clouds and its base rooted firmly in the earth. The climb to the summit is steep and demanding, but every step is purposeful, every effort inching closer to a profound achievement. This is the energy of Capricorn, the architect of the Zodiac, whose essence is rooted in ambition, discipline, and the power of creating lasting structures. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, the planet of time and responsibility, thrives on mastery and long-term vision. This archetype understands that success is not built overnight but through steady, deliberate effort. Like the mountain goat scaling rocky terrain, Capricorn's energy is determined and patient, navigating obstacles with resilience and focus. It reminds us that the greatest achievements often come from the willingness to embrace the climb, to invest in the work required to realize our highest aspirations. The architect archetype is deeply connected to structure and legacy. Capricorn is not content with fleeting success. It seeks to create something enduring, something that stands the test of time. Whether building a career, a family, or a personal foundation, Capricorn energy values stability and purpose, emphasizing the importance of aligning our actions with a larger vision. What are you building in your life, and how might you approach it with Capricorn's steady determination? Yet, Capricorn's wisdom extends beyond external achievement. This sign teaches us the importance of self-mastery, of creating structures within ourselves that support growth and resilience. It challenges us to consider what habits, disciplines, and values are shaping the foundation of your life. How can you refine them to align more closely with your goals? As we explore Capricorn's energy, let us reflect on the balance between ambition and humility, between striving for success and finding fulfillment in the journey. What mountains are you climbing, and what legacy are you creating? The architect invites us to honor the process of building, to embrace the discipline and dedication that lead to greatness. How will you embody its wisdom in your own life? Capricorn, the 10th sign of the Zodiac, is the archetype of structure, ambition, and perseverance. Represented by the mountain goat, Capricorn embodies the determined climb toward success, navigating obstacles with patience and unwavering focus. Ruled by Saturn, the planet of discipline and time, Capricorn understands that greatness is not achieved through shortcuts but through deliberate effort and long-term vision. At its core, Capricorn is the architect, a master builder of foundations and legacies. This archetype values structure, not only in the physical sense but also in the form of habits, systems, and values that create stability and purpose. Capricorn energy challenges us to ask, what are you building in your life, and are your efforts aligned with your highest aspirations? Are you investing your energy in something meaningful and enduring, or are you caught in cycles of fleeting gratification? Saturn's influence gives Capricorn its connection to discipline and responsibility. This planet teaches us that true growth often requires boundaries, focus, and the ability to delay immediate rewards for long-term gains. Capricorn thrives in this space of delayed gratification, seeing each step as part of a larger journey. However, Saturn's lessons can also feel heavy, as Capricorn must navigate the tension between ambition and the limitations of time and resources. Where in your life might greater discipline and focus help you achieve your goals, and how can you approach these challenges with patience and resilience? The element of Earth grounds Capricorn in practicality and realism. Unlike fire signs that burn with passion or air signs that soar with ideas, Capricorn works steadily and methodically, ensuring that every action serves a clear purpose. This energy excels in creating systems and solving problems, thriving in environments that reward persistence and precision. Yet, Capricorn's pragmatism can sometimes manifest as rigidity or an overemphasis on material success, a reminder to balance practicality with flexibility and joy. How might you embrace Capricorn's grounded energy while remaining open to spontaneity and creativity? Capricorn's connection to ambition often extends to the realm of career and public life. This archetype is deeply motivated by the desire to achieve and to leave a legacy, valuing recognition and respect for its efforts. However, Capricorn's true gift lies not in the pursuit of status but in the ability to create structures that uplift and inspire others. It teaches us that leadership is not about control but about responsibility, about using our influence to build something meaningful for the collective. Are your ambitions aligned with a greater purpose, and how might you use your success to contribute to the world around you? Relationships with Capricorn energy often reflect its values of loyalty, reliability, and long-term commitment. Capricorn is not drawn to fleeting connections. It seeks partnerships that are stable, supportive, and rooted in shared goals. This archetype expresses love through acts of care and consistency, valuing dependability over grand gestures. However, Capricorn's focus on achievement can sometimes lead to emotional distance, requiring it to balance its drive with vulnerability and presence. How can you bring Capricorn's dedication and steadiness into your relationships, and where might more openness and emotional connection be needed? Astrologically, Capricorn governs the 10th house, which rules over career, reputation, and public achievements. This house reflects Capricorn's role as the builder of legacies, encouraging us to consider how our actions shape not only our lives but also the lives of those around us. The 10th house asks us to reflect on our purpose, our contributions, and the ways we can align our ambitions with our values. What legacy are you creating, and how can Capricorn's energy help you build it with integrity and intention? The season of Capricorn, which begins at the winter solstice, mirrors its themes of endurance and resilience. In this time of cold and darkness, Capricorn reminds us of the importance of preparation, discipline, and the ability to sustain ourselves through challenging conditions. Just as the earth rests and regenerates during winter, Capricorn's energy encourages us to reflect on our foundations and to ensure they are strong enough to support our growth. What areas of your life need strengthening, and how can you use Capricorn's focus and determination to fortify them? Yet, Capricorn's lessons extend beyond external achievement. This archetype teaches us the importance of self-mastery, of creating internal structures that support resilience and growth. Capricorn understands that the journey to the mountaintop is as much about inner discipline as it is about outer effort. It asks us to examine our habits, values, and priorities, ensuring that they align with the life we are striving to create. What habits or practices could help you cultivate greater stability and purpose in your daily life? Capricorn also challenges us to embrace the balance between ambition and presence. While this sign thrives on goal setting and achievement, it also reminds us to find fulfillment in the journey itself. Capricorn's energy is a reminder that success is not defined by external recognition but by the sense of purpose and alignment we feel along the way. Are there areas where your focus on the future has overshadowed your ability to appreciate the present? How might you bring more balance to your climb, celebrating the progress you've made while remaining motivated to reach new heights? Ultimately, Capricorn's energy invites us to embrace the power of building, not only for ourselves but for the greater good. It reminds us that true success is not about accumulation but about contribution, about creating structures that uplift and endure. What mountains are you climbing, and how can you align your efforts with a vision that inspires and sustains you? The architect archetype challenges us to take responsibility for our lives, to build with intention, and to leave a legacy of integrity and purpose. What will you create, and how will you honor the climb? As you reflect on the energy of Capricorn, consider the mountains you are climbing in your own life. What goals and aspirations are driving you forward, and how are you building the foundations to support your journey? Capricorn reminds us that success is not only about reaching the summit but also about the dedication, discipline, and resilience required along the way. What steps can you take today to move closer to your vision, and how can you honor the progress you've already made? The architect archetype invites you to think not only about what you are creating but also why. Are your ambitions aligned with your values, and do they contribute to a greater purpose? Capricorn challenges us to examine the legacy we are building, to ensure that our efforts reflect the best of who we are. What impact do you want to leave behind, and how can your current actions bring you closer to that vision? Capricorn's energy also encourages reflection on the structures within your life. Are there habits, routines, or systems that support your goals, or are there areas that need refinement? How might you bring more focus and intention to the way you organize your time, energy, and resources? Capricorn teaches us that the strongest foundations are built through consistency and care, reminding us that small, deliberate actions can create lasting change. Yet, Capricorn's wisdom extends beyond external achievement. It asks us to cultivate self-mastery, to build the inner strength and resilience needed to navigate life's challenges. Are there areas where you've been overly critical of yourself, or where fear of failure has held you back? How might you approach these challenges with Capricorn's steady determination, trusting in your ability to learn and grow? Finally, Capricorn reminds us to find balance in the climb. While ambition and effort are essential, they must be tempered with rest, reflection, and appreciation for the journey. Are you taking time to celebrate your accomplishments, to honor the progress you've made and the lessons you've learned? The architect archetype teaches us that success is not just about the destination but about the sense of fulfillment and purpose we cultivate along the way. As you carry Capricorn's lessons forward, remember that you are both the builder and the creation, constantly shaping and being shaped by your journey. What will you build with your time, your talents, and your energy? How will you use Capricorn's steady determination to create something meaningful and enduring? The climb may be challenging, but the view from the summit is always worth it. What steps will you take today to honor the architect within you? The mountain awaits. What legacy will you leave behind? Chapter 14. Aquarius, the Visionary. Picture a vast night sky, infinite and filled with stars, each one a spark of possibility in the cosmos. Beneath this celestial canopy stands a figure, gazing upward, their mind alight with ideas that transcend the present moment. They are not content with the way things are. They see what could be, a brighter, freer, more connected world. This is the essence of Aquarius, the visionary of the Zodiac, whose energy is rooted in innovation, individuality, and the pursuit of progress. Aquarius, ruled by Saturn and Uranus, bridges tradition and revolution. Saturn provides a foundation of discipline and structure, while Uranus sparks innovation and change. Together, they create an archetype that is both grounded and forward-thinking, blending respect for the past with a bold vision for the future. Aquarius thrives in the realm of ideas, valuing intellectual exploration and the power of collective action to bring about meaningful transformation. The visionary archetype is deeply connected to the concept of individuality within the collective. Aquarius honors uniqueness, encouraging each of us to embrace our authentic selves while recognizing that we are part of something greater. It teaches us that true progress comes when we balance personal freedom with communal responsibility, using our unique gifts to uplift and inspire others. Yet, Aquarius energy extends beyond the intellectual. It is also the sign of humanity and connection, emphasizing the importance of collaboration, innovation, and social impact. How can your ideas and actions contribute to a more equitable and inclusive world? What does it mean to be part of a collective, and how might you bring your vision to life in a way that benefits others? As we explore the archetype of Aquarius, let us reflect on the power of ideas, the importance of individuality, and the potential for collective change. What visions are stirring within you, and how can you harness Aquarius energy to turn them into reality? The visionary reminds us that the future is not something we inherit, it is something we create. What will you imagine, and how will you build it? Aquarius, the 11th sign of the Zodiac, is the archetype of innovation, progress, and individuality within the collective. Symbolized by the water bearer, Aquarius pours the waters of knowledge and insight into the world, quenching humanity's thirst for truth and enlightenment. Its energy is dynamic, unorthodox, and deeply connected to the future, challenging us to think beyond our current limitations and embrace new possibilities. Ruled by both Saturn and Uranus, Aquarius embodies a unique duality. Saturn provides the structure and discipline necessary to turn visions into reality, while Uranus sparks the flashes of insight and rebellion needed to break free from outdated paradigms. This combination gives Aquarius its ability to balance tradition and innovation, making it a powerful force for change. Are there areas in your life where you are clinging to the past? How might you channel Aquarius energy to create a future aligned with your ideals? At its core, Aquarius is the visionary, always looking toward what could be rather than what is. This archetype thrives in the realm of ideas, valuing intellectual exploration, creativity, and problem-solving. Aquarius energy encourages us to challenge conventional wisdom, to ask bold questions, and to seek solutions that serve the greater good. What ideas or innovations are waiting to emerge within you, and how can you bring them to life? Aquarius element is air, connecting it to the world of thought, communication, and connection. However, unlike Libra's focus on harmony or Gemini's curiosity, Aquarius engages with ideas on a broader, more collective scale. It is the energy of the humanitarian, seeking to create systems and structures that uplift not just individuals but entire communities. How can you use your unique talents and insights to contribute to a cause larger than yourself? What role might you play in shaping a more equitable and inclusive world? The visionary archetype also celebrates individuality. Aquarius honors the freedom to be authentic, encouraging us to embrace what makes us unique and to express our truth without fear. This energy is a reminder that individuality is not at odds with the collective, rather, it is a vital part of it. Aquarius teaches us that when we are true to ourselves, we bring something irreplaceable to the world. Are there parts of yourself you've been hiding or conforming to fit in? How might you step into your authenticity with greater confidence and pride? Yet, Aquarius also understands the importance of collaboration and community. While this archetype values independence, it also recognizes that true progress comes from working together. Aquarius energy challenges us to move beyond ego, to see ourselves as part of a larger whole, and to use our gifts in service of something greater. Are there areas where you can deepen your connections, build alliances, or contribute to collective efforts? How might you balance your individuality with a commitment to the greater good? Aquarius governs the 11th house, the house of friendships, networks, and aspirations. This placement emphasizes the importance of collaboration, highlighting the ways in which we are shaped by and contribute to the communities we belong to. The 11th house also reflects our hopes and dreams, urging us to align our actions with the vision we hold for the future. What dreams are you working toward, and how might you invite others to join you on this journey? The influence of Uranus gives Aquarius its rebellious and inventive streak. This planet inspires us to break free from outdated systems, to challenge authority when necessary, and to embrace radical change. However, this energy can also lead to detachment or a tendency to focus on ideas at the expense of emotional connection. Aquarius' lesson here is to integrate its visionary ideals with empathy and compassion, ensuring that its innovations serve not just progress but also people. Are there ways in which you can balance your intellectual pursuits with emotional presence and understanding? In relationships, Aquarius values freedom and equality. It thrives on intellectual connection and shared ideals, seeking partners who inspire growth and exploration. However, its focus on individuality can sometimes create distance or difficulty in navigating emotional intimacy. The visionary's lesson in relationships is to balance its need for independence with the vulnerability required for deeper connection. How can you honor both your personal freedom and your commitment to others, creating relationships that are both expansive and supportive? Aquarius energy is deeply tied to the idea of legacy. This archetype asks us to think about the impact we are leaving on the world, to consider how our actions today shape the future for generations to come. Aquarius reminds us that progress is not achieved through isolation but through collective effort, through the sharing of ideas, resources, and energy. What legacy are you creating, and how can you align your vision with actions that inspire and empower others? The season of Aquarius, which occurs in the depths of winter, reflects its themes of resilience, innovation, and hope. Just as nature rests and renews itself during this time, Aquarius energy encourages us to look inward, to reflect on our ideals, and to plan for the future with intention and clarity. What aspects of your life could benefit from this forward-thinking energy, and how might you harness Aquarius' vision to create meaningful change? Ultimately, Aquarius challenges us to imagine what could be, to step beyond the limitations of the present and into the boundless possibilities of the future. It teaches us that individuality and community are not opposing forces but complementary ones, and that true progress comes from aligning our unique gifts with the needs of the collective. What dreams are you ready to pursue, and how can you bring your vision to life with Aquarius wisdom and courage? The visionary archetype invites you to embrace your authenticity, to trust in the power of your ideas, and to work toward a future that reflects your highest ideals. What will you imagine, and how will you build it? Aquarius reminds us that the future is not written. It is created, one thought, one action, and one connection at a time. Where will its energy lead you, and what will you discover as you step into the role of the visionary? As you sit with the expansive energy of Aquarius, take a moment to reflect on your role as a creator of the future. What visions and dreams are stirring within you, and how might you bring them to life? The visionary archetype reminds us that the power to innovate and inspire lies not in distant possibilities but in the choices and actions we take today. What step can you take now to move closer to the world you wish to create? Aquarius invites you to honor your individuality while recognizing the importance of the collective. Are there parts of yourself that you've been hesitant to embrace fully? How might stepping into your authenticity empower you to contribute more meaningfully to the communities you belong to? Aquarius teaches us that our unique gifts are not only valuable but essential, that each person's light adds to the brilliance of the whole. Consider the ways you are connected to others. The visionary archetype thrives on collaboration, on the exchange of ideas and the building of networks that transcend individual limitations. How are you nurturing these connections in your life? Are there opportunities to deepen your engagement with your community, to contribute to causes that align with your ideals? Aquarius reminds us that true progress is a collective endeavor, born from the fusion of diverse perspectives and shared purpose. Aquarius also asks us to reflect on our relationship with innovation and change. Are there areas in your life where old patterns or systems no longer serve you? What might it look like to embrace the revolutionary energy of Aquarius, breaking free from limitations and stepping into a more aligned, expansive way of being? The visionary archetype challenges us to think beyond the familiar, to trust in the possibilities that lie just beyond our comfort zone. Finally, Aquarius teaches us to dream boldly and to act with intention. The world we envision is not built overnight, but each action, each choice, brings us closer to its realization. What legacy do you want to leave behind, and how are you laying the foundation for it now? Aquarius reminds us that the future is a blank canvas, one that we have the power to shape with our imagination, creativity, and courage. As you carry Aquarius lessons forward, remember that you are both the dreamer and the builder, the visionary and the creator. What will you imagine, and how will you bring your vision to life? The visionary archetype inspires us to embrace the infinite possibilities within us, to trust in the power of ideas, and to work toward a future that reflects our highest aspirations. What will you create, and how will your vision shape the world? The stars are your guide. What will you discover as you aim for the horizon? Chapter 15. Pisces, the Mystic. Picture a vast ocean stretching into the horizon, its surface shimmering with sunlight and its depths teeming with unseen life. This boundless expanse represents the essence of Pisces, the mystic of the Zodiac, whose energy flows through intuition, compassion, and the profound connection to the infinite. Pisces dissolves boundaries, reminding us that we are not separate from one another but part of a greater whole. Ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams, spirituality, and imagination, Pisces thrives in the realm of the unseen and the transcendent. This archetype is deeply connected to the mysteries of existence, exploring the spaces where logic gives way to intuition, and individuality merges with universal truth. Pisces invites us to surrender to the flow of life, to trust in the unseen currents that guide us, and to embrace the interconnectedness of all things. The mystic archetype is both tender and powerful, embodying the wisdom of compassion and the courage of vulnerability. Pisces teaches us that strength lies not in resistance but in acceptance, that the most profound transformations often come when we release control and open ourselves to the unknown. How can you embrace this energy in your own life, allowing yourself to let go of what no longer serves and to trust in the flow of life? Yet, Pisces' gifts extend beyond the spiritual. It is also the sign of creativity and imagination, channeling inspiration from the depths of the soul into art, music, and expression. Pisces reminds us that creativity is not just a tool for self-expression but a bridge to the divine, a way to connect with something greater than ourselves. What creative energies are waiting to be tapped within you, and how might they bring healing and joy to your life? As we delve into the world of Pisces, let us reflect on the mysteries that shape our lives, the connections that bind us, and the dreams that guide us forward. What truths are calling to you from the depths, and how can you align with Pisces' wisdom to live with greater compassion, creativity, and faith? The mystic archetype invites us to see beyond the surface, to embrace the infinite, and to trust in the beauty of the journey. What will you discover as you dive into its depths? Pisces, the 12th and final sign of the zodiac, embodies the culmination of the zodiac's journey. It is the mystic, the dreamer, and the healer, connected to the infinite and the unseen. Represented by two fish swimming in opposite directions, Pisces reflects the duality of existence, the balance between the material and the spiritual, the self and the collective, the known and the unknown. Its energy is fluid, intuitive, and boundless, dissolving the barriers that separate us and inviting us into a state of unity and compassion. Ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams, illusions, and spirituality, Pisces thrives in the realm of imagination and transcendence. Neptune's influence gives Pisces a deep connection to the subconscious, opening portals to intuition, creativity, and universal wisdom. This archetype teaches us that logic and reason, while important, are not the only ways to understand life. Sometimes, the most profound truths are felt rather than understood, sensed rather than seen. Are there areas in your life where intuition is guiding you, even if logic cannot yet explain the path? The water element gives Pisces its emotional depth and sensitivity. Like the ocean, Pisces is vast and mysterious, capable of holding the full spectrum of human experience. This archetype feels deeply, absorbing the emotions and energies of those around it. Pisces reminds us of the power of empathy, showing us that by connecting with others' experiences, we can foster greater understanding and healing. However, this sensitivity can also leave Pisces vulnerable to emotional overwhelm, requiring boundaries and self-care to maintain balance. How can you embrace your empathy without losing yourself in the emotions of others? At its core, Pisces is the mystic, a seeker of spiritual connection and universal truths. This archetype sees life as a tapestry woven with threads of meaning, encouraging us to look beyond the surface and into the soul of existence. Pisces energy thrives in the liminal spaces, where individuality dissolves into unity and the material merges with the divine. It challenges us to surrender our illusions of control and to trust in the greater flow of life. Where in your life might surrender lead to greater peace, and how can you align with the currents of trust and faith? Creativity is another cornerstone of Pisces energy. This archetype channels inspiration from the depths, transforming emotions, dreams, and intuition into art, music, and expression. Pisces reminds us that creativity is not just about producing something tangible. It is about connecting with the divine and allowing it to flow through us. What creative outlets call to you, and how might they serve as a bridge between your inner world and the outer one? Pisces invites us to explore these realms, not for perfection but for the joy of expression and connection. Pisces' connection to the collective is profound. This sign understands that we are all part of a greater whole, intricately linked by unseen threads of connection. The mystic archetype urges us to move beyond self-interest, to see our actions and choices as part of a larger story. It teaches us that by serving others, we also serve ourselves, and that compassion is one of the most powerful forces for transformation. Are there ways you can bring more compassion and understanding into your life, both for yourself and for others? How might these acts of kindness ripple outward, creating waves of healing and unity? However, Pisces' boundless energy can also present challenges. Its fluidity and openness, while beautiful, can sometimes lead to confusion, escapism, or a lack of direction. Pisces' lesson here is to balance its dreamy nature with grounding, ensuring that its visions and insights can be brought into reality. Are there areas in your life where grounding might help you channel your dreams into tangible actions? How can you bring structure to your creativity and spirituality without losing their essence? Astrologically, Pisces governs the 12th house, the house of endings, spirituality, and the subconscious. This house represents the final stage of the Zodiac's journey, where we release what no longer serves us and connect with the eternal. The 12th house asks us to confront our fears, to explore the hidden corners of our psyche, and to find peace in surrender. Pisces' energy in this house invites us to let go of ego-driven pursuits and to align with the higher truths that guide our souls. What are you ready to release, and what might emerge when you create space for the new? The season of Pisces, which coincides with the end of winter and the approach of spring, reflects its themes of transition and renewal. Just as nature prepares for rebirth, Pisces' energy encourages us to reflect, to dream, and to prepare for new beginnings. It reminds us that endings are not final. They are part of the cycle of growth and transformation. What transitions are you navigating in your life, and how might embracing Pisces' wisdom help you move through them with grace and trust? Ultimately, Pisces challenges us to embrace the infinite, to trust in the unseen, and to open our hearts to the mysteries of life. It teaches us that we are never truly alone, that we are connected to something greater than ourselves. Whether through creativity, spirituality, or compassion, Pisces energy invites us to live with an open heart and a curious mind, exploring the depths of existence with wonder and courage. The mystic archetype reminds us that the journey is not about finding all the answers but about embracing the beauty of the questions. What mysteries are calling to you, and how might you honor them in your life? Pisces invites you to dive deep, to dream boldly, and to trust in the flow of life's unfolding. What will you discover as you explore its depths, and how will it transform the way you see yourself and the world? As you reflect on the energy of Pisces, take a moment to immerse yourself in its boundless waters. The mystic archetype invites you to release the need for certainty and to surrender to the flow of life. Where in your life are you clinging too tightly to control? What might happen if you trusted in the unseen currents, allowing them to guide you toward new possibilities? Pisces reminds us that some of life's most profound answers come not from grasping but from letting go. Consider the ways Pisces energy encourages you to connect with yourself, with others, and with the universe. Are there areas in your life where disconnection has taken hold? How might you embrace Pisces' compassion and empathy to bridge these gaps? Whether through acts of kindness, creative expression, or spiritual practices, the mystic archetype shows us that connection is the key to healing and growth. What steps can you take today to foster greater connection in your world? Pisces also asks us to honor our creativity, to explore the dreams and visions that arise from the depths of our subconscious. What ideas or inspirations have been lingering in the background, waiting for your attention? How might you channel Pisces' imaginative energy to bring these dreams to life? Remember, creativity is not about perfection but about expression, about giving voice to the truths and emotions that reside within you. At the same time, Pisces teaches us the importance of balance. Its fluidity and openness are gifts, but they must be paired with grounding to ensure that its visions can take form. Are there areas where you feel unmoored or scattered? How can you create structure in your life to support your dreams while honoring your need for flow and flexibility? Pisces reminds us that the balance between grounding and dreaming is where transformation occurs. Finally, Pisces calls us to embrace the mystery of existence, to see beauty in the questions rather than striving for all the answers. What truths are you seeking, and how might your journey toward them bring you closer to yourself? The mystic archetype encourages us to approach life with curiosity and wonder, to trust that even the unknown has its wisdom. What mysteries are you ready to explore, and how can you align with Pisces' energy to navigate them with grace and courage? As you carry Pisces' lessons forward, remember that you are part of something infinite and interconnected. What will you create, and how will your actions reflect the compassion, creativity, and wisdom of the mystic? Pisces teaches us that life is not a straight line but a vast, flowing ocean, filled with currents that guide and transform us. How will you embrace its depths, trusting in the beauty of the journey? The mystic archetype reminds us that within each of us lies the power to dream, to heal, and to connect. What will you discover as you let its energy flow through you? Chapter 16. The Birth Chart, Your Personal Cosmic Blueprint. Imagine a treasure map etched in starlight, each symbol and line marking a pathway to deeper understanding of yourself and your journey. This is your birth chart, a snapshot of the cosmos at the exact moment of your birth. It is a cosmic blueprint, revealing the unique energies and archetypes that shape your personality, your challenges, and your highest potential. Within this celestial map lies the story of you. The birth chart, also known as the natal chart, is a powerful tool for self-discovery. It combines the 12 zodiac signs, the planets, and the 12 houses, weaving them into a tapestry that reflects the complexity of your inner and outer worlds. Each element of the chart offers insights into different aspects of your life, your motivations, your relationships, your career, and your spiritual path. Together, they create a guide that helps you navigate the journey of becoming your most authentic self. At the center of the birth chart is the understanding that you are a dynamic being, shaped by both the gifts and the challenges of your cosmic blueprint. The chart does not dictate who you are or what you will do. Rather, it offers a framework for understanding your potential and making empowered choices. It reveals not only your strengths but also the areas where growth and healing are possible, inviting you to embrace the fullness of who you are. This chapter is an invitation to explore your birth chart as a mirror of your soul. Through its symbols and patterns, you will uncover the archetypes that guide your journey and the lessons they offer. You will learn to see the chart not as a fixed destiny but as a living map, one that evolves as you grow and transform. What truths are waiting to be discovered in your chart, and how might they help you align with your highest potential? As we begin this exploration, let us reflect on the wisdom of the stars and the unique blueprint they have created for you. What gifts, challenges, and possibilities are revealed in your birth chart, and how can you use them to navigate your path with greater clarity and purpose? The cosmos is calling you to step into your truth. What will you find in its map of your soul? The birth chart, or natal chart, is one of the most profound tools astrology offers for self-awareness and growth. It is a celestial map, capturing the positions of the planets, the sun, and the moon at the exact time and place of your birth. This snapshot of the heavens serves as a guide to your inner and outer worlds, revealing the energies and archetypes that shape your life's journey. At the heart of the birth chart is the interplay between the zodiac signs, the planets, and the houses. Each of these elements carries its own meaning and symbolism, contributing to the rich complexity of the chart. The zodiac signs, archetypes of energy. The zodiac signs are the 12 archetypes of the cosmic wheel, each embodying a unique energy. In the birth chart, the signs indicate how different aspects of your personality express themselves. For example, Aries brings courage and action to your pursuits. Cancer adds emotional depth and nurturing to your relationships. Libra inspires harmony and connection in your interactions. Every sign influences different areas of your life, depending on the placement of the planets and houses. The planets, celestial messengers. The planets represent the fundamental drives and forces within you. The sun symbolizes your core essence, the light you bring to the world. The moon reflects your emotional landscape and subconscious needs. Mercury governs your communication and thought processes. Venus reveals how you experience love and beauty. Mars drives your passions and determination. The outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, offer insights into broader, often generational, themes. Their positions in your chart highlight areas of growth, transformation, and connection to the collective. The houses, stages of experience. The 12 houses represent the arenas where the planetary energies and archetypes manifest. Each house corresponds to a specific aspect of life. The first house defines your identity and outward personality. The fourth house relates to your home, family, and roots. The seventh house focuses on partnerships and relationships. The 10th house is your career and public life. The placement of planets within these houses provides a roadmap for where and how their energies are most active in your life. The ascendant, the gateway to your chart. The ascendant, or rising sign, is the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the moment of your birth. It represents the lens through which you interact with the world, influencing your first impressions, appearance, and approach to life. The ascendant serves as the gateway to your chart, setting the tone for the rest of the houses and providing a unique perspective on your personality. Aspects. The interplay of energies. The angles, or aspects, between the planets in your chart reveal the relationships between different parts of yourself. Harmonious aspects, like trines and sextiles, indicate areas of ease and flow. Challenging aspects, such as squares and oppositions, highlight opportunities for growth and integration. These dynamics create the texture of your chart, showing how your energies interact and influence one another. Reading the birth chart as a story. The birth chart is more than a collection of symbols. It is a narrative, a story that unfolds as you explore its layers. It tells of your gifts and challenges, your lessons and potential, and the paths available to you. The sun, moon, and ascendant form the foundation of this story, representing your essence, emotions, and approach to life. The planets, signs, and houses add depth and nuance, weaving together the many facets of your being. For example, a sun in Leo in the 10th house might suggest a core drive to shine in your career and to lead with confidence. A moon in Pisces in the 4th house could indicate a deep emotional connection to your home and a sensitivity to family dynamics. Mars in the 1st house might bring boldness and assertiveness to your interactions, while Venus in the 7th house emphasizes the importance of harmony in your relationships. The birth chart as a tool for growth. While the birth chart reveals your tendencies and patterns, it is not a fixed destiny. It is a dynamic map that evolves as you grow and make choices. Each placement and aspect offers insights into your strengths, as well as areas where you may face challenges. By understanding these patterns, you can navigate life with greater awareness and intention. For example, if your chart shows a challenging aspect between the Moon and Saturn, you might explore ways to balance emotional vulnerability with discipline, finding strength in your emotional resilience. A harmonious aspect between Jupiter and Mercury could encourage you to share your ideas and expand your intellectual horizons, tapping into natural gifts for communication and learning. The chart also reflects cycles of growth and change, as transiting planets activate different parts of your chart throughout your life. These movements bring opportunities to revisit themes, deepen your understanding, and integrate new lessons. Aligning with your blueprint. The birth chart is not a set of instructions, it is a mirror. It reflects the complexity and uniqueness of who you are, inviting you to embrace your full potential. By exploring your chart, you can uncover your purpose, understand your relationships, and align with the energies that guide you. What truths and possibilities does your chart reveal, and how can you use its wisdom to create a life that reflects your highest self? As you delve into your cosmic blueprint, remember that each placement, aspect, and house is a piece of the puzzle. Together, they create a picture of your soul's journey, one that is as infinite and unique as the stars themselves. What will you discover as you explore the story written in the stars? How will this understanding empower you to navigate your path with clarity and purpose? The birth chart is your guide. What will you uncover within its map of possibilities? As you reflect on the wisdom of your birth chart, consider the ways it serves as a mirror of your soul. This celestial map is a reminder that you are a unique expression of the cosmos, with gifts, challenges, and potential that are yours alone. What insights have you gained from exploring your chart, and how can they help you align more fully with your true self? The birth chart invites us to embrace the complexity of who we are. Each planet, sign, and house represents a piece of the puzzle, a facet of your identity and experience. Are there parts of yourself you've been hesitant to acknowledge or integrate? How might understanding your chart encourage you to honor all aspects of your being, from your strengths to your shadows? Remember, the beauty of astrology lies not in perfection but in the wholeness it reflects. Consider the dynamic nature of your chart. It is not a fixed blueprint but a living guide, evolving as you grow and navigate life's changes. How can you use the insights from your chart to approach challenges with greater awareness and resilience? What opportunities might emerge as you align your choices with the energies reflected in your chart? The birth chart reminds us that self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth. The interplay of the chart's elements also highlights the importance of balance. Are there areas where one energy feels dominant or neglected? How can you bring greater harmony to these aspects, ensuring that your life reflects the full spectrum of who you are. The chart is a tool for integration, helping you align your inner and outer worlds with intention and clarity. Finally, the birth chart is a gateway to self-compassion. It shows us that our challenges are not flaws but opportunities for growth, that our strengths are gifts waiting to be shared. What would it look like to approach your life with the same curiosity and acceptance you bring to exploring your chart? How might this understanding transform the way you see yourself and your journey? As you carry the lessons of your birth chart forward, remember that its wisdom is a guide, not a rulebook. What truths will you live by, and how will they shape the path you walk? The stars offer their insights, but the choices are yours. How will you use this cosmic blueprint to create a life that reflects the essence of who you are? The chart is your story. What chapters will you write next? Chapter 17. Living in Harmony with the Stars. Imagine standing beneath a vast night sky, the constellations glittering like a cosmic dance choreographed through eternity. The stars, seemingly distant and eternal, are not just spectators of your life. They are companions, guiding and influencing your journey. Living in harmony with the stars means aligning with the rhythms of the cosmos, using their wisdom to navigate the ebbs and flows of life with grace and intention. Astrology teaches us that we are part of a greater whole, intricately connected to the movements of celestial bodies. The transits of planets, the cycles of the moon, and the changing seasons of the zodiac offer insights into the energies that shape our lives. By attuning ourselves to these cycles, we can move with the natural rhythms of the universe, finding greater flow and synchronicity in our actions and decisions. This chapter is an invitation to explore the practical applications of astrology in daily life. From understanding how planetary transits influence your personal growth to aligning your intentions with the phases of the moon, living in harmony with the stars is a practice of mindfulness and connection. It is about recognizing the celestial patterns that mirror your inner world and using them as tools for empowerment and self-awareness. Yet, this journey is not about relinquishing control or placing your fate in the hands of the stars. Instead, it is about partnership, working with the energies of the cosmos to align with your highest potential. How might your life change if you viewed the stars not as distant forces but as allies, guiding you toward greater clarity and purpose? What lessons can you learn from their rhythms, and how might they help you navigate your path with greater confidence and ease? As we begin this exploration, let us reflect on the stars as mirrors of our potential and partners in our journey. How can you use their wisdom to create a life that feels aligned, intentional, and meaningful? The cosmos is calling you to live in harmony with its rhythms. How will you answer? Living in harmony with the stars begins with understanding that the universe operates in cycles. Just as the Earth rotates on its axis, the moon waxes and wanes, and the planets move through their orbits, so too do our lives unfold in rhythms and patterns. Astrology offers a framework for recognizing these cycles and aligning with them to create greater balance, purpose, and flow. The influence of planetary transits. The movement of planets across the sky, known as transits, reflects the energies that shape both collective experiences and personal growth. Each transit activates specific areas of your birth chart, offering opportunities for learning, healing, and transformation. For example, a Jupiter transit brings expansion, abundance, and opportunities for growth. It's a time to dream big and take bold steps. A Saturn transit emphasizes discipline, responsibility, and long-term planning. It invites you to focus on building solid foundations and addressing areas of weakness. A Uranus transit sparks change, innovation, and breakthroughs, challenging you to break free from outdated patterns and embrace the new. By tracking these transits, you can better understand the themes influencing your life and work with them rather than against them. Are there planetary energies currently calling you to grow, release, or transform? How might you align with them to make the most of their lessons? Lunar cycles, the moon as your guide. The moon's phases offer a powerful tool for aligning your actions with natural rhythms. Its cycle, from new moon to full moon and back again, mirrors the process of intention, growth, and release. The new moon is a time for setting intentions and planting seeds. It encourages introspection and focus on new beginnings. The waxing moon supports growth and action as energy builds toward the full moon. The full moon illuminates results, bringing clarity, completion, and heightened emotions. It's a time to celebrate achievements or gain insight into what needs adjustment. The waning moon encourages release and reflection, letting go of what no longer serves to prepare for the next cycle. How might incorporating the moon's phases into your planning and reflection help you stay aligned with your goals and emotional rhythms? The zodiac seasons. Tuning into the energy of each sign. As the sun moves through the zodiac, it highlights the qualities and themes of each sign, offering opportunities to explore different aspects of life. Aries season ignites boldness and new beginnings. Cancer season invites emotional connection and nurturing. Libra season emphasizes balance and relationships. Capricorn season focuses on discipline and long-term vision. By aligning with the energies of the zodiac seasons, you can harness their power to enhance your personal and professional life. Are there ways you can integrate these seasonal themes into your actions, goals, or reflections? Retrogrades. Revisiting and reassessing. When planets appear to move backward in the sky, a phenomenon known as retrograde, they encourage reflection, review, and reassessment. Mercury retrograde, for example, is infamous for communication hiccups but also offers a chance to revisit unfinished projects, refine plans, and reconnect with the past. Similarly, Venus retrograde encourages reflection on love, values, and relationships. Mars retrograde asks you to reassess your energy, motivation, and goals. Retrogrades are not times to fear but to pause, reflect, and realign. What areas of your life might benefit from a deeper review during a retrograde period? Astrology and personal empowerment. While astrology provides guidance, it does not dictate your choices. Instead, it offers a mirror, reflecting the energies at play and the opportunities they present. The stars are not forces to obey but allies to collaborate with, helping you navigate challenges and amplify strengths. How can you use the insights of astrology to make empowered choices, aligning your actions with your values and aspirations? Practical ways to live in harmony with the stars. 1. Track transits and phases. Use an astrology calendar or app to follow planetary movements and lunar phases. Note how these energies align with your experiences and goals. 2. Reflect with the moon. Set intentions during the new moon. Take action during the waxing moon. Celebrate progress at the full moon, and release during the waning moon. 3. Work with retrogrades. During retrogrades, revisit old ideas, reassess plans, and approach communication and decision-making with patience. 4. Align with zodiac seasons. Integrate the themes of the sun's position into your goals, self-care practices, and reflections. 5. Customize your journey. Use your birth chart as a personal guide, exploring how transits and cycles activate specific areas of your life. Finding flow in cosmic rhythms. Living in harmony with the stars is not about surrendering control but about aligning with the natural energies that surround and influence you. Just as a sailor adjusts their course according to the wind and tides, you can navigate life's currents with greater ease by attuning to the movements of the cosmos. Are there areas in your life where greater alignment with these rhythms could bring clarity, balance, or progress? The stars remind us that life is cyclical, that every challenge and triumph is part of a larger process of growth and transformation. What cycles are you navigating right now, and how might you use astrology's wisdom to embrace them more fully? Living in harmony with the stars is a practice of mindfulness and connection, a way of honoring the cosmic rhythms that shape our lives while remaining grounded in the choices we make each day. What would it mean for you to live in flow with the universe, trusting in its guidance while stepping confidently toward your dreams? The stars offer their light and wisdom. How will you use them to chart your course? As you reflect on the practice of living in harmony with the stars, consider how the rhythms of the cosmos align with the rhythms of your life. The celestial movements are not distant phenomena but mirrors of the cycles you experience within yourself, of beginnings and endings, growth and reflection, expansion and release. How might tuning into these patterns bring greater clarity and ease to your journey? The practice of aligning with planetary transits, lunar phases, and zodiac seasons is an invitation to live with greater mindfulness and intention. Are there areas in your life where you felt out of sync or disconnected? How might observing the stars help you find your flow, aligning your actions with the natural energies that surround you? The stars remind us that harmony is not something we achieve but something we cultivate, moment by moment. Consider the lessons of retrogrades and challenges in your chart. These are not obstacles but opportunities to reflect, reassess, and grow. What areas of your life could benefit from this kind of deeper exploration? How can you approach periods of tension or uncertainty as invitations to refine your path and strengthen your foundations? The cosmos teaches us that every cycle has its purpose, even the ones that feel difficult or uncertain. Living in harmony with the stars is also about trust. Trusting that the universe is a partner in your journey, offering guidance and insight at every step. What would it feel like to surrender some of your need for control and to flow with the energies of the cosmos instead? How might this trust open new possibilities and pathways that you hadn't yet imagined? Finally, this practice invites you to embrace your role as a co-creator of your life. The stars illuminate the path, but you are the one who walks it. What intentions will you set with the new moon? What actions will you take under the influence of planetary transits? How will you honor the lessons of retrogrades and use them to grow? The wisdom of the stars is always available to you, but it is your choices that bring that wisdom to life. As you carry these lessons forward, remember that living in harmony with the stars is not about perfection but about presence. What cycles are you navigating now, and how will you use the guidance of the cosmos to walk your path with intention and grace? The stars are your allies, reflecting your own infinite potential. What will you create as you align with their rhythm? The universe is waiting, its wisdom ready to guide you. How will you answer its call? As we near the conclusion, if you've been enjoying the audiobook, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment below and share your biggest takeaway. Conclusion: the eternal archetypes. Picture the night sky once more, the stars shining with a timeless brilliance, each one a marker of the eternal archetypes that guide and shape us. These celestial symbols are not distant or abstract. They are deeply woven into the fabric of our existence, reflecting the journeys, lessons, and transformations that define our lives. As we conclude this exploration of the zodiac's wisdom, we are reminded that these archetypes are more than just stories. They are tools for self-awareness, growth, and connection. The eternal archetypes of the zodiac reflect universal truths about the human experience. They teach us about courage and compassion, independence and unity, discipline and surrender. Through their symbolism, we see our strengths and our shadows, our gifts and our challenges, mirrored back to us in ways that inspire reflection and growth. What lessons have you discovered within these archetypes, and how have they deepened your understanding of yourself and your journey? Astrology is not a rigid system. It is a living, breathing relationship with the cosmos. The archetypes are dynamic, offering new insights as you evolve and grow. They remind us that life is not linear but cyclical, that every phase and every challenge is part of a greater process of becoming. How might you carry the wisdom of these archetypes forward, using their guidance to navigate the unfolding of your life with greater intention and trust? At its heart, the zodiac is a map of potential. It does not dictate your path but illuminates it, showing the energies available to you and the possibilities they hold. It empowers you to make conscious choices, to align your actions with your values, and to create a life that reflects your unique truth. How can you use the insights of astrology to live more authentically, to embrace your highest potential, and to contribute to the collective good? The eternal archetypes also remind us of our interconnectedness. Just as the stars form constellations, we are part of a greater whole, our lives interwoven with those of others and with the rhythms of the universe. How might this awareness inspire greater compassion, understanding, and collaboration in your relationships and communities? The zodiac teaches us that while we are each unique, we are also deeply connected, part of a cosmic dance that unites us all. As you reflect on the journey through the zodiac, consider the lessons that resonate most deeply with you. What archetypes feel most alive in your life right now, and how might you align with their energy to create meaningful change? The eternal archetypes are always present, offering their wisdom as you navigate the joys and challenges of your path. What will you create with their guidance, and how will their lessons shape the story you are writing? The stars remind us that we are infinite, that within each of us lies the power to dream, to grow, and to transform. The zodiac's archetypes are eternal guides, offering wisdom and support at every stage of life. How will you honor their lessons, and how will you use their energy to live with purpose, creativity, and love? The cosmos is your companion, its light always available to guide you. What will you discover as you walk forward, illuminated by its timeless wisdom? As you stand at the threshold of this exploration, take a moment to look back on the journey you have taken. From the bold beginnings of Aries to the mystic depths of Pisces, the zodiac's archetypes have offered you their stories, their wisdom, and their challenges. Each archetype reflects a piece of the human experience, a facet of your own being, and a pathway to greater self-awareness. What lessons have you uncovered, and how have they illuminated your understanding of yourself and your place in the universe? The legacy of the stars is one of connection and empowerment. They remind us that we are both individuals and part of a greater whole, that our unique gifts contribute to the vast, interwoven tapestry of existence. The zodiac is not just a map of the heavens, it is a map of the soul, reflecting the energies that shape our lives and the potential that lies within us. How can you carry this legacy forward, using its insights to create a life that honors your truth and contributes to the collective good? Living in harmony with the archetypes of the zodiac is not about perfection but about presence. It is about recognizing the cycles and rhythms of life, embracing the lessons they offer, and aligning your choices with your highest values. What steps will you take to integrate this wisdom into your daily life, to navigate challenges with courage and grace, and to celebrate the joys of growth and transformation? The stars also teach us the power of imagination and intention. Just as the constellations have inspired myths, art, and discovery for centuries, so too can their archetypes inspire you to dream boldly and live authentically. What visions are stirring within you, and how can you bring them to life with the guidance of the cosmos? The eternal archetypes remind us that we are not passive observers of the universe but active participants in its unfolding. As you carry the zodiac's lessons into your life, remember that its wisdom is always available to you. The stars do not fade, they shine steadily, offering their light as a guide. Whether you are facing a new beginning, navigating a challenge, or reflecting on a cycle's completion, the archetypes are there to support and inspire you. How will you honor their guidance, and how will it shape the way you move through the world? The journey through the zodiac is not just a journey of self-discovery, it is a journey of becoming. It invites you to embrace the fullness of who you are, to align with the energies that support your growth, and to trust in the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. What will you create with the legacy of the stars, and how will their timeless wisdom illuminate the path you walk? The universe is waiting, its light ever present. What story will you write beneath its eternal sky? The stars have guided us through the timeless wisdom of the Zodiac, unveiling archetypes that reflect the essence of human experience. As this journey draws to a close, let it remind you that the cosmos does not exist solely above you. It exists within you. The energies of the Zodiac, the lessons of the archetypes, and the movements of the planets are all reflected in the intricate universe of your soul. You are not separate from the stars. You are a part of their legacy. The courage of Aries, the stability of Taurus, the curiosity of Gemini, and the nurturing of Cancer, the radiance of Leo, the precision of Virgo, the harmony of Libra, and the transformation of Scorpio, the vision of Sagittarius, the discipline of Capricorn, the innovation of Aquarius, and the compassion of Pisces. All of these energies live within you, waiting to be explored, embraced, and expressed. This is the power of astrology. It is a tool for understanding, a language for connection, and a map for growth. It does not define you. It empowers you. It invites you to explore your unique blueprint, to align with the rhythms of the universe, and to walk your path with greater intention and awareness. What have you discovered in this exploration, and how will it shape the way you live and create? The stars remind us of the infinite possibilities within us. They show us that we are ever changing, ever growing, and ever connected to the greater whole. As you carry their wisdom forward, know that you are supported by the rhythms of the cosmos and the timeless truths of the archetypes. You are both the dreamer and the creator, the seeker and the guide. So, look to the stars not just for guidance but for inspiration. Let their light remind you of your own, and let their cycles teach you to trust in the flow of life. The universe is vast, its possibilities endless, and its wisdom always within reach. How will you align with its energy, and what will you create as you step into the next chapter of your journey? The stars are yours to explore, their wisdom yours to embody. May you walk forward with clarity, courage, and connection, ever guided by the light within and around you. The cosmos is within you. What story will you write with its eternal spark?